Thanks for stopping by, and if you've been here before, welcome back. Today we're playing Ace Attorney Investigations. We're Edgeworth. It's great. We love being Edgeworth. It's fun to be a prosecutor because you get to do prosecutor things, like solve murders. A totally normal prosecutor thing to do. Definitely a normal prosecutor thing. Anyway, we're back on this side of things because we are talking about we are doing shenanigans. Oh, nope. Well, so we got a bunch of evidence removed that we don't care about. And now we're working on figuring out what the heck is going on with the Yatagrasu. To this end, we're back here because we've learned that probably the Yatagrasu never even went in a particular direction that we thought they might have gone. And I think, just from having looked at that we need to examine the fireplace and see if it's connected. Anyway, welcome in everybody. Hi, Val. Hi, everybody. Oh, I forgot to get out my little guy that I use to manage my stream on the Twitch side. Oh, no. I'm doing it. Okay. I did it. Okay. It's time to become a prosecutor. Yes. Also, if you guys don't see the blue sky that I have that I love so dearly and so fondly, because it's decent usually. I put pictures of lunch and also the snow, and no one will ever catch me at it. Aquarium staff will never catch me at it. Somehow they found out yesterday I was out in the snow. They were much displeased. But it's fine, I did it again. It was raining by the time I got to see any of the snow, so I worried that the snow would all go away. Some of it stayed. I would like more of it. I would like to build a snowman, please. Oh yes, right, we were doing the thing, and this game is not like Bravely Default. It is not fully voiced, because it wants me to be sad. Just a little bit.
A fireplace, huh? So Babel's offices must have them too.
Two?
There's a fireplace in relatively the same location in the Alabastian office. However, we found something there that I'd rather not recall ever again. I still can't believe that we found that lady's undershirt in that fireplace.
If it was that traumatizing, why don't you try creating new memories with this fireplace? You could climb inside and we can play hide and seek.
And come out covered in soot? I think not.
You really have no sense of fun, Mr. Edgeworth. I love Kay. Kay's great.
This safe wasn't open at the time of the fire.
You could tell because the inside wasn't burnt, right?
Yes, and thanks to this safe's fire resistance, the smuggling evidence was preserved.
Aren't safes great? They always hold the wonderful promise of treasures within.
Well, this one certainly did have a few inside. It appears that this area was heavily damaged by the fire.
Yeah, I guess we should hurry up and get started examining everything. The usual thing that he says. Time for sus. Hey, that's Babelese ink.
There's a bottle of Babelese ink on Mr. Cochin's desk.
And it looks like there's still a lot of ink left inside.
The seal is unbroken, so the fire probably couldn't get into the bottle to burn up the ink.
Hey, Mr. Polino. It looks like your precious Babelese ink is all right after all. What? Oh, that's odd.
Ambassador, what do you mean by that?
Well, it's just that there's something strange about the ink.
Would you mind elaborating on that statement for me, please?
We'll let him elaborate later. There's other things I would like to examine.
It looks like a bunch of flyers with coupons attached to them.
Babel sure gives away a lot of different coupons. Maybe I should create one of my own. I could call it the Great Thief Coupon.
And what kind of discount would that net you?
The 5-finger kind, what else? And I'd steal an extra thing or two for the bearer.
Things such as?
Such as the truth. What else would I steal?
What I wouldn't give to have a mountain of your coupons right about now.
Edgeworth is trying his best.
There's only one book left standing here. Treasures of the World.
Wait, what? Let me see that.
Uh-huh, I see.
Ah! The most important part was blackened by the fire. Why, cruel fate, why?
It looks like the map of where the treasures are located has been burnt.
Oh. So I guess embassy phones are just normal phones, huh?
Well, what did you imagine them to look like?
I thought the Babels would look like a flower and the receiver would be a butterfly. That way, it'd look like the butterfly receiver was sucking nectar from the flower base.
If any country had a flower phone, it would be Alabast, don't you think?
Oh, then maybe the phone I envisioned would have been from when they were Codofia?
There's really no point in asking me about something that never existed in the first place.
Edgeworth is trying his best to be patient. He's not very good at it. You know what you lack, Mr. Edgeworth? Curiosity and an imagination. Imagination. The law! Welcome in, Rice! We should be on Dread 3. Make Dread 2. There's a song called Make Dread 2 out there, and I love it. Dread was such a good Judge Dredd movie. And I really wish they would have made Dread 2 and carried it on, because I liked that movie. They did such a good job. They really encapsulated the essence of Judge Dredd, except for the ending, which I will once again argue is a modern ending that doesn't quite get the joke, but is better for the movie. The thing about Judge Dredd, the comic, is that it is intended to satirize. It is intended to satirize a very particular style of law application, where you apply the law with zero mercy. And because it's intended to satirize that thing with applying the law with zero mercy or edge cases, it has some really weird moments that wouldn't play well in the kind of movie that Dredd was, which was a very good movie. In the comics, the way that would have ended is because she lost her gun. In the comics, that would have ended with her not getting to be part of the judges. But I understand why in the movie they were like, maybe Dredd can have a moment here. He is intended to be a good guy here. And I was like, fine, that's fine. I like it. Also, our psycher judge friend did not get frozen in a block of plastic, so that's fine. With Judge Death inside of her. Which is what happened to her namesake in the comics. We like that for her. We love that for her. Can't remember her name because she was in one story. And then she died. She worse than died. To save everyone. Anyway, tangent over, kind of. I can't help myself. I really liked it. I love 2099 a lot. Not just for Judge Dredd, as you'd expect. Though it is mostly for Judge Dredd, as you'd expect. That looks like a very comfortable chair. Well, it doesn't look all that broken, so why don't you try sitting in it? No, I'd better not. It's very important that we preserve the crime scene at all times. Wait, but you're always touching all sorts of things at crime scenes. That's because I am a prosecutor and it's part of my job to examine things. No, it isn't! Edgeworth, my boy, that's a detective's job. But then again, given Gumshoe, I get you. And my job is to be a great thief. Which is... which is exactly why you're not allowed to touch anything. Oh. Manny Cochin. His name is written here on this nameplate. Why would you put a nameplate with your name on it in your own office? I suppose it's to inform people in case they walked into the wrong room by mistake. Do you think maybe it's also there to remind you of your own name if you forget? Well, either way, it's never a bad thing to set a nameplate on one's desk. Source, Edgeworth has one of those things. There's more stuff I haven't examined in here? Oh, drawer. It would appear that this desk also fell victim to the fire. But it doesn't look too damaged. Oh, I think we can rifle through this drawer a bit. I suppose we really should take a look. Or... Hello. This is a rather unusual shape for a notepad. I suppose this must be another souvenir from somewhere. What's in my inventory? Yes! It is connected to the evidence I hold. This is a rather unusual shape for a notepad. The shape of this notepad matches the shape of this note we found. Hey, you're right! What is it? It looks like something straight out of Monument Valley. Ah, yes. That notepad is a souvenir from somewhere in your country. We've been collecting them for the purpose of studying them, you see. Yes, I do. You do seem to be quite passionate about it. Hi, Hooji, welcome in! Yes, someone did die in here. Manny Cochin died in here, and good riddance, he was a murderer! Oh, would you like to see my souvenir collection? I'd love to show it to you. Are you sure they haven't been burnt to a crisp by the fires? Ambassador Poleno, I wonder if you might recognize the handwriting on this note. This is... Oh, it looks like Manny's handwriting. I see. In that case... Oh, did you figure something out? This note was found in Alabast. Specifically, it was found being firmly grasped by the murdered Damask II. Oh, I know! Damask II? Then this note... Yes, it was a request from Mr. Cochin for Damask II to steal the Primadux statue. What? Manny tried to steal Alabast's Primadux statue? We would know for sure if we could run a handwriting analysis.
Ambassador, do you have any documents that were handwritten by Mr. Cochin? Yes, I can gather a few and give them to you. I'll have to ask Detective Gumshoe to run the analysis. I can't believe that Manny would even think of doing something like this. Do you have any idea as to why he would have requested the theft of the statue? Well, there's one possibility, but mind you, it's just my personal speculation. Anything you can tell me would be of great help, Ambassador. There's still stuff I haven't examined here? You don't understand, Edgeworth. It seems that the contents of this drawer survived the fire rather well.
Now that's a sturdy desk. I guess the value of solid wood construction. Or I guess that's the value of solid wood construction. Let's see if there's anything useful in here, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, it was to point us there. I think we're all done now. Okay, good.
It appears that Mr. Cochin's body has been taken for an autopsy. The white outline is all that's left to tell the tale of his murder.
That's what he gets.
It's the charred remains of a fallen ceiling fan.
Oh, I've seen a few of these before. They spin around and around and play music.
I believe you're thinking of a musical mobile for babies.
Yeah, that's it.
But they're nothing alike.
They're totally alike. They spin those babies right round, like a record.
Baby right round, like a record, baby right round, round, round. I see. I guess I can see how you might think that.
It's true. No cussing. I forgot.
So this is...
YouTube doesn't like it. Thank you, Val. And I'm already, how shall we say, not very advertiser friendly because I am an octopus. I may be adorable, but I am an octopus. Ooh, building a boat. For treasure? Do you want to build a snowman? That was last Friday. We did that. Oh, I've got a bunch of games to redeem. I was graciously gifted a bunch of games. For to play with all of you, maybe. I'm not going to tell you what they are because I didn't redeem them yet and I forgot to, but I will. Although one of them's Kerbal Space Program. Alright, have fun working. I will continue to figure out crime.
So this is the real Prima Duck statue.
This is really valuable, right?
That's what they say. Kay, you're not seriously considering the theft of this statue, are you?
No way, Mr. Edgeworth. I wasn't thinking about anything like that. I was just calculating in my head how much the statue is worth.
That sounds mighty suspicious to me.
Alright, Mr. Polino. Oh.
Ambassador Polino, what exactly used to be here? Oh, that used to be a stack of brand new pamphlets. But it looks like they were all burnt up. I guess we'll just have to reprint them.
Welcome in, Weebelosu! Welcome in, everybody! Hi, Raiders! Welcome in! We are playing Ace Attorney Investigations. It is such a good time. Hi! I'm using tilt controls! Welcome in, Raid! Don't worry, we are very anti-tilt around here. You'll see, you'll see. Alright. Yay! Right, the usual spiel. For those of you that don't know, I am Fiera Luna. I play games on the internet. I am a 4-centimeter tall octopus. I live in an aquarium, and streaming is my enrichment. It's a great time, because I get to see all of you. I am a talking octopus, you see, so it's very difficult sometimes, because it's not like I can go around with other octopi. They don't do much talking. Well, except Edmund. He doesn't really talk much, but he seems to get it. Even if maybe sometimes he fights me for food. He's one of my sun-loving cousins. You see him sometimes in my pictures. Anyway, that aside. We are playing Ace Attorney Edgeworth Investigations. This is the first one, but it's the last case of the first game, and then we're going to play the second game because I got the collection, and I'm very excited to be a prosecutor. Yay! Anyway, welcome in, Weed Below Chicky V. Hi, everybody. Also, I suppose I should tell you my followers are anonymous. I believe in lurkers' rights. So there is that. You are safe to follow. It's gonna make a little bit of a fanfare, but it is not gonna out your username or anything. Because I'm cool like that. Ah. Anyway, what were you guys playing? Were you having fun? Was it a good time? Did you do the thing? Did you have a fun time? Etc., etc. Yeah! Oh, I don't know if I remember how to do this. I usually have my mod do my shoutouts. Hello. Oh, I never remember how to do this. You did? Thank you. Thank goodness, because I don't know how to do nothing anymore. Oh! Devil May Cry 3! Oh boy. Yes. We do love a good Dante, running around, hitting stuff until it stops being alive. Ah, but you see, the power of mobile. I manage my stream through mobile because my desktop is using Restream to get YouTube and Twitch. And I can't manage Twitch through Restream very well. Yeah! This is all because I woke up one morning and went, hey, I'm allowed to duo stream. Now, I'm gonna! And then I did. Right, what was I? Oh yeah, right. I was doing this. Exactly! And it's super convenient for me because my VODs just go up onto YouTube automatically. I don't even have to do anything about it. It's so good, so helpful. It's wonderful. Which reminds me, that's where all my VODs are. If anybody ever needs them or wants them or whatever, they're all over on YouTube. If you ever want to be like, darn, what was Fier like when, like, a year ago? You can see that thing that I said, because I stream every day. Well, I do now. A year ago, maybe not, but I do now. There's so many streams over there. I played so many games with everybody. We've even finished some of them. We might even finish more of them. Oh, it's great. I love when I come to the end of the game and I'm just like, ... I did not plan on this. We played through all of Chrono Trigger together. The SNES version and everything. So that we didn't have to deal with the annoying dungeon that doesn't exist in the DS version. That one that I was like, wow, this just put everything I hate in. Everything I hate about RPGs just dropped back in through this dungeon. Wah! Oh, right, I have to get back to this man's accent. Well, but no matter how fast we reprint them, they always disappear so quickly. Is the Babalese tourism industry really that hot right now? Of course! Although recently the most popular vacation destination has been the Republic of Borginia. But we refuse to lose to them, so we've been hard at work promoting Babel. Interesting. Well, I've just recently returned from a trip to Borginia myself. Oh? And how did you like it? It was alright. I probably shouldn't bring up the fact that it was that I was a suspect on the flight home. That's true, he was! There was a murder on the flight home, and that delighted me so much. Poor Edgeworth was just like, I've woken up in a puddle of wine with someone else's wallet, unconscious on the floor of a bar. This doesn't look good. And it wasn't good. We still don't know where the blade of the Babalese knife went. Could it be that the killer walked away with it? A grandfather clock. This one resembles the one in Alabast. Oh, that clock has been with us since back when we were still Cadofia. That is one big clock. Hey, does this one have a bird that pops out like a cuckoo clock? Oh, I'm sorry, but no. Oh, but I'm sure you'll love its chime. Really? It's gonna be 11 soon, so maybe I'll get to hear it then.
Is it that time already? Time sure flies by when I'm involved in an investigation.
Oh, it's not that late. The night's only just begun.
Okay, it's not good for you to stay up late, you know.
Yes, Gramps. Looks like all the souvenirs suffered some damage from the fire. I just don't believe it. Murder on top of arson? What a disgrace to the name of the Yatagarasu!
The fake Yatagarasu is guilty of much more than just theft, it seems.
I know, because if it were me, my first priority would have been to loot this bookshelf.
You would steal ordinary souvenirs that you can buy virtually anywhere.
You can't buy them anywhere. Each one is specific to a location that has its own value. And items that have memories attached to them are the most valuable of all.
But could you really rob someone of their valuable memories just like that?
No! Because even if I take the souvenir, I can't take the owner's memories. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a Phoenix Wright game that is that.
Ambassador Polino, would you happen to know what these charred remains are of?
I don't know, actually. But I don't think there was anything there that should have been flammable.
So it remains a mystery as to what was burned here.
Something was. Very excited to figure that out. Alright, Ambassador, I think I've examined everything.
Now then, Ambassador, I'd like to ask you about your movements before the fire broke out.
Before the fire? Which fire are you talking about?
Which one? There was more than one tonight?
Huh? Oh, I see. I guess you didn't hear about it. We had 2 fires here at the Babalese embassy tonight. What a bother all of that was. Wait, but the only fire we know about is the one after the Jam and Ninjas show. Well, the first occurred at the start of the Jam and Ninjas show. Luckily, only the 4th and 5th floors of our embassy caught on fire. Not wanting to cause a panic among the theater goers, we decided to keep it internal.
Then the fire after the Jam and Ninjas show was the second one of the night?
Exactly.
So the fire I witnessed was the second one.
Oh, and that does explain why the windows are popped out at the top, though.
Come to think of it, didn't Detective Bad make a reference to the first fire?
When was this photo taken?
Apparently right after the fires, on the 4th and 5th floors were put out. I suppose this means that the photo was taken just after the fire was put out.
I am unsurprised, sir. So then, what was the extent of the damage in the second fire? The second fire was contained to this floor, the 3rd floor. Oh, I think it was leftover embers from the fire on the floors above that caused it.
That's, how should I put this, a very bad stroke of luck.
My office on the 5th floor, Manny's office here, and Manny himself, all gone in the blink of an eye. Fires in Babal. I feel sorry for you, Mr. Polino. Oops, look at me going on and on. Now then, what was it you wanted to ask again?
We were discussing what your actions and whereabouts for today were, and if you happen to know what Mr. Cochin's actions and whereabouts were as well.
Yes, very well. Let's see. I've been quite busy all day from morning until now. First I woke up and then I brushed my teeth. After that I had a roll for breakfast.
Fascinating. How about if you just skip to the relevant parts for me?
Oh, you'd like a condensed version. Alright, I can do that for you.
So what did Mr. Cochin and you do this morning?
Well, originally we were supposed to meet and shake hands with the Jammin' Ninja. But Manny and I wanted to turn it into a photo op, so we were here tidying up his office.
You helped clean Mr. Cochin's office. Why were you not cleaning your own?
Oh, I think I forgot to mention this, but my office is currently undergoing renovations. I love this guy because Edgeworth was like, hurry it up, and instead of being Wendy Oldbag, he was like, oh, okay. Just messing with you a little bit. Like, you can tell that this man, because of this man's reactions, you can tell that he's got way more going on because he's got like the stand-up I'm serious business right now moment. And like, I already know that Alabast's guy also has the stand-up serious business moment too. Like, he plays the frail old man real good, but I already know he's got shenanigans that he's up to.
This is gonna be great. This man is perfect, yes. Okay. Which is why both the Prima Duck statue and the Babyliss knife set are down here. I see. Oh, but the tidying didn't take much, really. We just burnt some files we no longer needed and expired coupons in the fireplace. I bet cleaning up the fireplace must have been a real pain, though, huh? About that. I kind of forgot to clean the ashes out. Well, I guess I am up the creek without a manny here to get angry at me. An ambassador like yourself has been on the receiving end of a secretary's anger? Oh, he was very good at being very mad. Why, even just this morning he got mad at me. Oh, I spilled some Babyliss ink onto the back wall when I was burning the files, you see. And he got mad at me, saying that I should treat the ink with more respect. Talk about the boss getting bossed around. That's about it for what we did this morning. Just some cleaning. Don't tell me you had no other work to do. Being an ambassador and all.
Apparently not! Apparently he didn't.
Now then, if you could tell me what you and Mr. Cochin did this afternoon. Well, Manny and I went down to the Theatrum Naturalis. We had to be there for the start of the Steel Samurai stage show. After the show started, I went back to my office on the 5th floor alone. So they were together until the start of the Steel Samurai show. A little while later, after I'd straightened myself up a bit, I returned to the theatre, because it was to take part in the photo op on stage at the end of the show. There was a commemorative photo op at the end. It was a fantastic photo of the three of us, Ambassador Elba, the Steel Samurai, and myself. After that photo shoot, I went back to my office on the 5th floor, to prepare for my handshake photo op with the Jammin' Ninja. He seems to be rather overworked for an ambassador. When I got to my office, that's when the first fire broke out and I escaped down the stairs. My office was completely destroyed, but thankfully no one was hurt. I admit I ran away from the first fire as fast as my legs could carry me, but during the second one I pitched in and helped the embassy staff put it out. So you didn't see Mr. Cochin again after the start of the Steel Samurai show? Yes, that's right. The next time I saw him, he was lying there, in an eternal sleep. I see. Ambassador Polano, I thank you very much for your help. I'm sorry I couldn't be of more assistance, Mr. Edgeworth. If there's anything else, please don't hesitate to ask, alright?
Alright, let's talk about the things that, definitely are interesting.
I wonder if you might tell me what you noticed about Mr. Cochin's bottle of ink. I just thought of it right now, but, during the second fire, Manny was worried about his office, so he came rushing back to it. I called out to him, and when I received no reply, I used my spare key to open the door. But when I did, I was greeted by roaring green flames.
Wit crystal oil!
The flames were so big that I wasn't able to see into the room at all. The fire was green? What was the cause?
Well, wit crystal oil burns green, and when it's lit, you can see by this lantern.
And Babyliss ink is made of the same oil, which means it would also burn green. You know, I too had thought that it was Manny's ink that had caught on fire. So that's why I was surprised to find out there was still a bottle of ink left on his desk.
The case of the perplexing green flames. Talk about a mystery!
What exactly was it that caught fire in here?
It was those papers that are definitely related to the smuggling ring that are almost certainly written in Babyliss ink that probably caught fire. I am almost 100% certain that's how it went. I don't remember what those papers are. But they were almost certainly something about the smuggles.
I believe that you said you might have an idea as to why Mr. Cochin hired Damask II.
Well, actually, I fear it may be my fault. As I was telling you earlier, we were to determine which statue was the real one as a part of today's event. But because of the Adagracio and the fire here, that got cancelled, didn't it? Oh, I'm actually relieved the rest of the event has been cancelled. For you see, Babel's statue, well, it's just a replica.
And did Mr. Cochin know about Babel's Prima Duck statue?
Of course he knew! That's why he was the only person I could consult with. We'd have to do something once our statue was revealed to be a replica.
is to be expected. I was very nervous today, as that would impact our country's authority. Yes, I understand. Well, when I told Manny my concerns, he said, let me handle it. It'll be alright. I'll find a way to make sure you're the ambassador of the reunited Cadofia. At the time, I thought he was just trying to cheer me up. But when I saw that note, I realized he was serious. Mr. Cochin conducted a lot of business behind your back. I assume he did all that to ensure that you are the next Cadopian ambassador. But why was he trying so hard, I wonder? He was so much better at getting things done than I ever was, or will be. I don't have an answer yet as to why he was trying so hard. But I suspect he had an ulterior motive in mind beyond just simple kindness.
I know exactly why he was trying so hard. Look at this man. If it's true that he was up to shenanigans and they were easy to commit behind this poor man's back, then of course he'd be like, yeah, you can be ambassador. Because then he'd have an in at the ambassador's office. Oh, here you are, Mr. Edgeworth.
Detective Gumshoe, have you collected the information that I requested?
Yep, got it all right here, sir. Here you go, Kay. Feel free to take a look. It's for you, after all. What is all this, Gummy? It's all the information on this room that I got from the embassy and Interpol people. Now we know exactly how this room was before and after the fire.
Good work, Detective.
I was nothing, sir. I'm an expert at getting people to talk. Wow. You two remind me so much of my father and Uncle Bad.
What do you mean?
As prosecutor and detective, your dynamic is just like theirs back in the day. Well, don't you worry. I'm going to find my own wonderful partner someday. And when I do, I'm going to become a good Yatagarasu, just like my father, right?
Please don't ask me questions to which I have no answers, Kay. However, I can say it is truly a wonderful thing to find a partner you can trust.
Edgeworth! 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 Why do you say these things, my man? My man, you're gonna get fan-fictioned. You're gonna get fan-fictioned, honey. Haha, you bet! So what now, Mr. Edgeworth?
Well, I'd like to ask you for a favor.
Yeah?
That gadget, Mr. Thief, is it? That thing you call your secret weapon.
Oh, you mean Little Thief. Ha, you're coming to rely on it, aren't you?
I don't need a crutch like that. I'm only asking because I need it for the investigation. From the information Detective Gumshoe gathered and the ambassador's testimony, I'd like you to please recreate this room as it was during the third floor fire.
You got it. All right, here we go. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dare takes wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now, witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood.
It seems there are other things besides what the ambassador mentioned that have changed. It's possible that we might find the escape route the person Kay saw used as well.
Oh! What? Well... What is all this? Is it some sort of light show I was not told about? This is the power of a true vigilante. It's recreating the room with all the info I inputted. Really? That certainly is one interesting device you have there, Miss Faraday.
Ahem. I believe it's about time we return to our investigation.
Okay, let's start with... clock.
This grandfather clock. It was apparently in a different position before the fire.
According to the staff members, the clock was flush against the wall before the fire, sir.
Which means that most likely it was not moved by someone during the fire. Or rather, it was moved by someone during the fire.
Speaking of which, it's totally 11 o'clock now, but I don't hear any chiming. Huh?
Well, that's odd. It was still chiming right on the dot of every hour this morning. Maybe the fire damaged the internal mechanisms or something. Ambassador Plano, may we take a look inside that clock?
Sure, go right on ahead.
Detective Gumshoe, if you could please inspect the insides of this clock.
Yes, sir! I'm on it! Mr. Edgeworth, I found this inside, sir!
It looks like a length of wire. So this is what caused the clock to stop chiming. But what is a long length of wire doing inside this clock in the first place? Why would someone do this to such a valuable clock? Sounds like it wasn't Mr. Polino that put the wire in there. And perhaps it was Mr. Cochin's killer who did.
It looks like one of the Babalese knives was already missing before the fire began.
So it would seem. Especially since the other two knives' handles were burned away.
The remaining handle was swapped out with the handle from the real murder weapon, and Babel's national treasure was stolen. Poor Babel, don't you think?
I'm not sure I would lump the replica statue in with the rest of Babel's woes. These must have been the large green flames Ambassador Polino saw.
With flames like these, it's no wonder he couldn't get in.
Kay, by the time you came into this room, had the fire already been put out?
Yeah, the fire had died out or something by that time.
Then this fire in here only burned from the time the fire started on the 3rd floor until the Yatagarasu appeared and caused a stir in Babel, I suppose.
I guess Mr. Polino was just lucky enough to run into this fire as it was burning, huh?
Yes, you could put it that way. And since you were the first to discover the body, we can assume that no one else entered the room until that time. No one other than the person you were chasing, of course.
I knew it! The person I saw was definitely up to no good. I mean, that person could even be Mr. Cochin's killer.
That is very likely to be the case. After all, that person came into this room before you, and must have chosen this room precisely because they knew no one would be in here.
Okay, then maybe the green fire was where it was to prevent anyone from coming in? But then, what did that person set fire on to make... Oh, yeah. What did that person set on fire to make the green flames?
Well, whatever it is, that person burned it.
We'll try that sentence one more time.
Well, whatever it is, that person burned. It made it a rather sizable fire.
And since the fire's green, well, we've seen something that burns green, right? And it's a bit tinier than the flames, but you get what I mean. Edgeworth, my beloved. I know, right? He's beautiful.
Yes, and I do believe that what you're thinking is exactly why these flames are green. Which fire-related piece of evidence burns the same color as these green flames?
Take that!
This silhouette lantern. Its green flames come from the wit crystal oil it's burning.
Yeah, that's the fire I was thinking of too. I love the green it gives off.
I think we've now established that the green flames were caused by wit crystal oil. Furthermore, we know that there's only one other thing made from wit crystal oil.
Oh, you mean that thing Mr. Polino was mistaken about, right?
Yes, precisely. As we found out earlier in our investigation.
What? I don't get it. Can you fill me in, sir?
Fine, I suppose. I'll explain it in a way that even you can understand. This is the thing made from wit crystal oil that Ambassador Polino was mistaken about.
Babalese ink!
Babalese ink is made from wit crystal oil.
Oh, so it should burn the same color as the flames in the lantern, right?
Yes, precisely. However, the green flames in this room were not from a bottle of Babalese ink.
Woo, we're having fun. We're connecting dots. We love connecting dots. More dots. Every dot. Logic and facts. My favorite things. My second favorite things, actually. My first favorite thing is the snow, and I would like more of it. Because we found the ink Mr. Cochin used on his desk, right?
Yes, however, we know that Mr. Cochin was smuggling the ink in massive quantities. Now, what do you suppose he made using all that ink? I believe what he made with the ink is the answer to what gave birth to the green flames.
Oh yeah! I'm beginning to really feel the energy coming from you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Heh. It would appear that I've finally found it. The smuggling ring's real goal. Made of Babalese ink. This is the source of the green flames.
Is it the money? Is it fake money?
Take that!
What would consume that great of a volume of ink to make? That would be the counterfeit bills that the smuggling ring made and are circulating in Zhangfa.
You're kidding! You're saying that when Mr. Cochin who made the... Blah. You're saying that it was Mr. Cochin who made the counterfeit bills?
I am. I believe you could even go so far as to say he stole Babel's printing press. Ambassador, Mr. Cochin had permission to freely use the printing press, correct?
Why, yes. And I do remember seeing him use it in the middle of the night. But never did I think he was using it for such a foul deed.
Ambassador, because of your secretary's crimes, you will need to be investigated as well.
Yes, I suppose so. We've caused quite a bit of trouble for a few countries, haven't we?
It's my duty to search out all who shielded Mr. Cochin and concealed his crime. For they are the ones who started this fire in order to destroy the evidence.
Oh, wait, yeah, okay, we've done this part. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know. We examined this part before. You spin me right round, baby, right round. Fear, me and Savi made the most beautiful boat. It's an eyesore, I'm a liar. Is it a friendship? Did you build a friendship? Is there a very sad horse crying frustration tears? Maybe. I swear these are frustration tears, etc. This is canon in Stars and Time lore, trust me. It's Dandy and Siffrin on a boat. Of course. So Babel is really into pushing their tourism industry, huh?
Yes, it would appear that way.
You know, I'd really love to take a trip. Hey, why don't we take one after this case?
Do you already have a destination in mind?
Well, ideally I'd like to go someplace where I can continue my thief training.
Well, if you want to learn the fine art of stealth, perhaps you should visit the studio where they make the Jammin' Ninja TV show.
Hey, that's actually a really great idea, Mr. Edgeworth.
I can't believe she took me seriously. That looks like a very comfortable chair.
Well, it doesn't look all that broken, so why don't you try sitting in it?
No, we've done this part.
We did this part.
You can see the Alabastian embassy through this window.
So where were you when you were investigating over there, Mr. Edgeworth?
You can see it from here. I was there on the 5th floor. That's where Damask II was killed.
What? You don't mean the Damask II? Aw, poor guy. As a fellow second-generation thief, I just can't turn a blind eye to this.
Even though Damask II is merely an imposter for the original?
Fear, they took my petals. Your petals? Oh, no.
A fireplace, huh? So Babel's office have them too.
Two?
Yeah, we know there's a fireplace in the...
I'm trying to examine the flag, Edgeworth. We did this part. I bet I got logic to connect, actually, now that I'm thinking of it. I bet I got a lot of logic to connect. Sure don't. Unless... We'll leave that be for a minute. I want more cool logic.
Detective, you took part in the initial Babal investigation, correct?
Yep, sure did. I also helped put out both fires, sir. But the first fire took me by surprise. I had a tough time escaping the 5th floor. First I tried the elevator, but I guess someone else had the same idea, because it was in use. If I hadn't remembered to use the stairs at that point, I'd have been burnt to a crisp. Wait, that's odd. We always warn our staff that in case of a fire, it's dangerous to use the elevator.
Oh?
Maybe someone wrote it in a fit of panic?
Detective, did you see the Yatagarasu that came into the Babalese embassy at all?
I didn't personally. And the other staff members told me that they never got a good look at the person either, sir.
I wonder if you could tell me a bit more about what you discovered, Detective.
Gas! The second fire broke out around the time the Yatagarasu was spotted in Alabast. That's also when a suspicious person was spotted in Babel, which caused some panic.
So no one was able to get a good look at the Yatagarasu that entered Babel?
Yeah, all they saw was a mysterious person wearing a long coat. That's not enough to make a positive ID, you know?
Still, it was enough to make the people who received the calling card panic even more.
A person in a long coat? Sounds like the exact same person I saw.
The Yatagarasu that appeared in Alabast was proven to be just a fabrication, a shadow. In light of that fact, the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babel is also suspect.
You can't be serious! Not when we're this close to capturing the fake. I mean, Callisto you.
So, the Yatagarasu appeared, caused mass confusion, killed Mr. Cochin, then disappeared. By the way, Detective, why did you not chase after the Yatagarasu?
I did, but, well, the embassy is huge, sir. I got separated from the other staff members I was with and I was lost for a while there.
You didn't even memorize the layout of the building you were to guard, Detective?
Yeet! I'll be sure to do that from now on, sir! But you know, it was thanks to me being lost that I was able to come to Kay's rescue.
Oh, is that a fact?
Yeah, it was when I was lost and wandering around in the third floor hallway, sir. When I heard a scream, I headed towards it right away. Oh, that's probably from when I found Mr. Cochin's body. Yeah, I thought it sounded like her, so I got really worried and I ran in as fast as I could. And it was thanks to Gummy that Miss Sheena wasn't able to take me away. He covered for me until you got there, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh, I see. So he can be useful once in a blue moon.
Still, it's too bad that oops, wrong voice. Still, it's too bad that Agent Sheena got here before I did.
I wonder where Agent Sheena was before you found her here.
Well, just before I got to this room, I saw her coming out of the room next door.
Interesting. Agent Sheena mentioned something about chasing the Yatagarasu herself earlier.
Well, she apparently helped in putting out the first fire. And during the second fire, I heard she was busy chasing the Yatagarasu.
She seems to be a very dedicated agent. You would do well to learn from her.
Guys, I have a terrible suspicion. Why are you pointing at me when you say that, sir?
We've examined everything in this office, but there is one thing that bothers me. Perhaps I should ask Ambassador Plano about it. Ambassador Plano, there's something I'd like to ask you about.
Yes?
About this office, it appears to me to be very similar to Ambassador Alba's office. For example, the location of the fireplace and the position of the grandfather clock.
Ah, that's right. You've also paid a visit to the Alabastian side of the embassy. Our two embassies actually used to be one.
Yes, I know. Even the pamphlet mentioned that.
Which is why the building is bilaterally symmetrical. So, no matter which room, the location of the fireplace and the like are exactly the same. Even where the art is located is the same. As my room is currently under renovation, we worked hard to make Manny's room look like the ambassador's office. You mean for your handshake photo op with the Jammin' Ninja? Yes, that's right. I mean, what's a photo like that worth if it's not taken in the ambassador's office, right?
Yet another odd expression of Babel's obsessively competitive spirit with Alabast, I take it. Thank you, Ambassador. That piece of information is all I needed to connect the dots.
Connect what dots? Well, anyway, I'm glad I was able to be of some help. It's logic time! It's logic time, Your Honor! Oh no. Please connect. I'll be mad if it doesn't. Congratulations to me! Connect!
The Alabastian and Babalese sides of the building are symmetrical to each other. As we know that to be a fact, then this room's fireplace may also hide a secret passageway.
A secret passageway?
In Alabast, the fireplace turned out to have a revolving back wall.
A revolving wall? That sounds like something out of a ninja house. Wow, there's a trick like that built into the fireplace, sir? What? This embassy holds that kind of secret?
There seems to be a lot about this room you don't know about, Ambassador.
Oh, we hydrate as chat demands.
Body break.
And a big stretch. Big stretch. Okay. Whoop. Well. Okay. Now we get our feeties moving. If you have feeties. I don't, but I'm gonna get all of my little feeties moving anyway. Such as they aren't. Okay. We'll do some high knees, because we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I did them. I'm ready. Okay. I had such tasty food. Staff made sacrifices to me. I like that they do that. They make such good tasty things.
Well, I guess it's time to pay the bill for letting Manny do so much work for me. Please, I really want to know about the real Manny and know what...
Goodness gracious.
Please, I really want to know about the real Manny and what you know about this room.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Edgeworth? Let's get to the bottom of this.
Agreed. And my first thought is that it's likely the killer used the revolving fireplace. It looks like
just another fireplace, though, doesn't it? So how do you turn it again?
in Alabast. I had to push where the X was on the far wall of the fireplace.
Oh, I see an X back there, sir. Let's see what happens when I push it. Ah, you scared me, sir.
There's something about this fireplace that lies in contradiction to the facts.
Huh? Well, we found an X where you thought there'd be one, right?
We did, but that's not what I was referring to. Something is missing from this scene. What does this contradiction mean for us?
Well, there's no ink at the back.
All I see in this fireplace is starter wood.
Huh? That's odd. It doesn't match up with what Mr. Polino said earlier.
What is the meaning of this contradiction? If we push this X mark, the fireplace should turn.
A revolving fireplace wall. That's neat, sir. We should hurry up and... Oh, right, of course.
Besides which, there's also something I'd like to test.
Oh, like what, sir?
I'll tell you later, Detective. For now, let's continue with the investigation.
Maybe. Oh, wait. Did we write... What do we got? Oh. Spilled Babyliss ink into the black... Yeah, okay. He said he left the ashes there. Why did we write that down? Why that... Well, I guess we kind of have to. So that we can do this.
Ambassador Polino, you said that you burned some old files in this fireplace today, correct?
Yes, I burned quite a few files in there this morning, actually.
And after you did, you forgot to clean out the ashes from the fireplace, correct?
That's right. But why are you asking? And why are you making such a scary face?
I'm sorry. I admit I am a bit intimidating when I'm serious. In any case, take a good look at the fireplace and tell me what you find odd about it.
Let's see. Huh? Where did all the ashes go? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Edgeworth? You don't really think that Ambassador Polino is lying, do you?
No, there's no reason for him to lie. And I don't believe his testimony is wrong either. It is the fireplace that is causing the contradiction. Okay, I wonder if you might update the fireplace data for me.
You got it. I'll add in the ashes from the burnt files and... Sounds like we've pretty much figured everything out now, huh?
Well, it was nothing. All I did was follow where our leads led us.
Oh, I sense it coming on. You're about to dazzle us again, right? Aw, you mean that? Well, it's what Mr. Edgeworth is known for, you know?
There is really no need for you two to dance around the name of what I'm about to do.
Logic! He's about to use this thing called logic!
The ashes Ambassador Polino left here have disappeared. If we follow where this piece of information leads, we should begin to see the truth.
It's time to use your secret weapon, right? Yeah, go on, sir. Use your special skill.
I'll ignore your strange phrasing for now and focus on the information we have instead. Just a little further. I can sense the truth lying just on the other side of this.
Yeah, use your special skill. You can press L to activate. I bet.
Please connect.
Yeah!
The reason as to why the ashes are missing is simple.
It's not because someone cleaned them up, right?
No, because even if someone did sweep them up, the fireplace is too clean for that. Ambassador Polino said that he spilled some Babalese ink while he was burning the files. And yet, there's not a trace of that spilled ink on the back wall anywhere.
Well then, I don't know what happened.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. The two sides were switched. By using the revolving fireplace wall, the ashes were moved into the neighboring room. Which means that this is a clear indication that the fireplace was used.
Oh. Then you mean the person I was chasing disappeared from this room through there?
Yes, I believe the person you were in pursuit of is Mr. Cochin's killer. And after committing the murder, escaped through the fireplace.
Ah. Shocking. Wow, Mr. Edgeworth, you figured out the killer's escape route.
I have. But this is only the beginning. Now we have to chase the killer down.
It's almost like these things are meant to connect.
If the killer used the fireplace in this room to escape into the next, then it's only logical for us to talk with the person who was in the neighboring room.
Well, that person in the next room was... Oh! It was that person, sir!
Yes, Detective. Agent Sheena.
Woo! It's looking more and more like Miss Sheena is the killer, isn't it?
Let's not jump to conclusions yet. We need to go through what we know so far. She came running straight into this room from the next one and instantly accused you. Furthermore, she claimed that it could only have been you that killed Mr. Cochin. I don't have any proof yet, however, I know she is hiding something from us.
Okay then, why don't we go ask Miss Sheena herself?
No, not yet. There's something that needs to be done first. Detective Gumshoe.
Sir! It's my turn to do something, Mr. Edgeworth!
Yes, I have a two-part special assignment for you. First, I need you to run a handwriting analysis on the damask, the second's note.
Okay, I'll get the lab boys on that right away.
Second, I want you to see if you can fit through the revolving fireplace wall.
Right now, sir?
No, next decade. Of course now. We need to test our hypothesis first, don't we?
Go on, Gummy, you can do it. Alright, I'm gonna do this like a real man. Here I go, through the fireplace, and back.
You shouldn't need to psych yourself up that much for such a simple task, Detective.
Wow, the wall inside that fireplace really did turn. So neat. Now I want to try going through there too. There really is a secret passageway behind there. I had no idea.
It would appear that the ash really was pushed onto the other side of the room. Furthermore, the Babalese ink you spilled, Ambassador, is there on the back wall.
Okay, here I go, sir.
Detective, I'd like you to go through there under the same conditions as the killer. Huh? But there's all that ash and stuff. And your point is? Now we're short on time, so if you could please hurry on through. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we pretty much have the whole picture, right?
No, not yet. There remains a few more mysteries to solve. Such as the Yatagarasu's whereabouts, the other smuggling ring members, the 2 weapons that made it across the border, the key Ms. Yu stole 7 years ago. In fact, we haven't figured out a thing regarding how Ms. Yu was related to these embassies.
Mr. Edgeworth.
A number of pieces connect in a very complicated way in this case. It's almost enough to make one completely mentally exhausted.
What are you saying, Mr. Edgeworth? I thought you were the one who said it's easy if you follow the leads.
Was that supposed to be an impression of me, Kay?
If it's info gathering you need, Gummy and I can help with that. Then all you'd have to do is show off your fancy schmancy logical deductions.
Show off? Does it seem like I'm being boastful when I do that?
Oh, Edgeworth! Edgeworth. My man, you read, at least in the West, as like one of the most prideful people on Earth. And I love that for you. 10 out of 10. Can we keep him? I think we can keep him. Well, let's not overcomplicate matters, okay, Mr. Edgeworth? We've been so focused, like a laser, on only what seems strange and out of place. It's no wonder nothing's clicked and we haven't unlocked anything yet. But if we think things through calmly, the answer should come to us.
Okay.
That's the sort of thing I say to myself when I'm practicing how to unlock padlocks, you know?
That is something that I hope practice doesn't make perfect for your sake.
Yay, looks like you're back to your straight-laced self again.
Kay would be like somehow the opposite to lockpicking lawyer. You know, less accidental ASMR from little click out of 1 to his binding. And like less accidental ASMR and more, hey, it's your girl Kay.
And today we're gonna pick locks. Now this is a master lock. Don't let that fool you. Guess who got some rice? Was it you? Is it tasty rice? Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back, sir.
Yes, I can see that. Good work, detective.
Looks like you can use that fireplace like a door, sir. Are you alright, Gummy? I'm okay. It's just a bit of ash and dust, that's all.
Your jacket has gotten quite filthy. I see the hem has practically turned black.
Yeah, well, quite a bit of the unburned ink got on it, sir.
I see. Thank you, detective. You did a fine job. I'll even pay the cleaning bill for the trench coat.
What? Oh, no, sir, I could never. This is just my old coat, sir. If it was a coat I actually cared about, then I'd get it cleaned, but you know.
I see. Very well then, as you wish.
So because Gummy was able to climb through the fireplace, we know it can be used, right? I'll wash his coat for him. He deserves it. He does! Detective Gumshoe is like, it's my old coat. It's probably his only coat. Let's be real here. We know how this man is. We know exactly how this man is. I know how I am, though. Am I in the cheese ball container? You'll never know. It's almost like... it's almost like I'm definitely in the cheese ball container. And staff won't stop me. They don't care. Not tonight, staff doesn't anyway. I like that about them. On the other hand, they don't care if I drop my controller either. That's why we play Switch games tonight. Because I set that controller on the table. And if I have to tip it, I gotta move real fast. I wish I had magic even sensitiver sticks, because then I could move them easier. Even more sensitive sticks. You know what I mean. We all want magic. Yeah! Maybe you can have some. Someone should. I'd probably grant boons to those of who are worthy of them. What boons? I don't know. Staff seems to think I can do that. They're the science-mins. The aquarium-mins. Definitely aquarium-mins. Well, I mean, I'm a mod, so maybe I could maybe get a boon. What boon? The best line in Heathers is, what boon? Mm-hmm. Followed closely by, if I took an axe and split your skull in half, I'd have 2 perfectly symmetrical sides. Like, she's so reverent. And I love that for her. Heather, the cute one. McNamara. Welcome in, Keelan. Have fun. Doing the thing. We stopped to munch some cheese puffs for a second. Yeah, good luck doing the thing. Heather, 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 and someone. Oh yeah! Wednesday I'm gonna get to set up a loft bed and it has a desk underneath. And then I'm gonna set up a little spot in there. Probably a little crafting station, and I'm really excited about it. It's my Crimbus present. That's okay, have fun! It's my Crimbus present, and I'm excited because I get to sleep all the way up high. And that way aquarium staff can reach me in the aquarium, and that way I have more floor space in the aquarium that I can hide under. Am I gonna hide under the loft bed? You better believe I am. Am I gonna crawl into any shell I can find that'll hold me just to hide from aquarium staff and they'll never know which one I'm inside of because I could be in any of them? You better believe I will. What shell is Fier in? Who knows? It's like magical hats. You'll never find me. Boom, Dark Magician. I'm so excited. I'm trying to pick a night to read A Christmas Carol to you guys that I'll be here. So that's going to be fun too later at the end of the month. We're going to read an old-timey spooky story. And I'm going to get to tell you about how Victorians used to tell scary stories at Crimbus time. That was the time to tell scary stories. That's why there are ghosts in A Christmas Carol. And all about how Charles Dickens was paid by, like, the word. Oh, we're gonna have to have such fun! I can tell you guys why he wrote A Christmas Carol! We can do literature circle stuff at the end. I know you're not excited about literature circle stuff at the end. We won't, actually, probably, but we can! I can be like, now let's talk about reading comprehension. Who was this book intended for? What do you think the intended point of this book was? We can play reading comprehension the game. I love playing reading comprehension the game with everybody. This book was intended for me. Kinda. This book was intended for anyone who needed to find the true meaning of Christmas again. Did you know Christmas was banned in Victorian England for, like, a long time? Victorian England. Christmas was banned in England for a long time. And it only came back in after A Christmas Carol got popular. So the traditions that we think of today are primarily from that book. Wait until you find out what old Crimbus was like. Yeah, I'm so excited to tell you guys about old Crimbus. Actually, I can tell you guys all about old Christmas. Do you know what St. Patrick's Day is like now? That was old Crimbus. Yeah, you got it. Chat knows what's what. Yeah, you're exactly right. Old Crimbus was all about being disorderly. And really drunk. New Year's Eve and St. Patrick's Day all at once. Yeah. That's why it was banned for a long time. You weren't allowed to celebrate Crimbus. Because it was too rowdy. And then Charles Dickens came along and was like, what if we all remembered what Christmas was truly about? A simpler time when people were kind to each other. When it was about peace on earth and goodwill towards all. Oh, I'm gonna get to bust out my reading voice. I love busting out my reading voice. I'm sorry in advance, chat, that you might be like, it's not as cute as you are normally. But I like doing it. It's fancy. It's the fancy voice. I'm excited to become fancy for everybody. What else was I thinking about? Besides caterpillars. I think about caterpillars often. Maybe I should learn all the words to that song because I definitely skip over parts. But I'm still really excited. And Tuesday is Crimbus and Guild Wars 2. Tuesday, whatever else we do, we're playing some Guild Wars 2. We're also playing Carry On. Carry On is a delight. I love eating all the little mans. They're so delicious. Those poor little mans. I don't know if I'll be able to start early on Tuesday to do Guild Wars 2 a bit, but I'll try. You are also all invited to Crimbus with me while I'm on stream. And even when I am not on stream. We will do our Guild Wars 2 Crimbus chores every time. Every time I stream. Tuesday and onward. I'm resting to get everything finished because you know how sometimes you think you're really far ahead and you got everything done and you're so proud of yourself and you're like, wow, I did such a good job. And then you're like, no, I didn't do a good job at all. Because it feels like you have 1 million thing to do. But you don't really, but it feels like you do. Well, that's where we are.
Yes, but that's not important. That's not all we learned. We actually learned one other important fact.
And that is?
I will have to explain it to you later. Right now, we need to deal with the handwriting analysis. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir! I'll be back before you know it! The handwriting analysis of Mr. Cochin's handwriting will take a bit of time. Let us go and wait in the Theatrum Neutralis, along with Agent Lang and Agent Sheena.
Do you guys get the feeling that Agent Sheena might be the fake Yatagrasu? You guys get the sensation that that might be the thing that's happening here? Oh, isn't he gonna be so upset? Isn't our Wolf Dragon man gonna be so upset? Side note, I have absolutely pictured a dragon with wolf ears and snout. And I am delighted by this image in my mind. It'd be so cute. I want to make it an art.
Agent Lang. Langji says, little cubs never do they know the real fury of the elder wolves. These quotes are definitely becoming increasingly difficult to decipher. And what does that mean? It means that you'll never really know how angry I can get. Mr. Prosecutor, the counterfeit bills made with Babalese ink. They were all of Zhang Fa denominations. Yes, so I heard from Ms. Von Karma. But we don't know where the play money has gone. They must not have figured out that it was all burned yet. Ever since those things showed up in circulation, my country's economy has taken a big hit. Zhang Fa is in financial chaos as we speak, because we can't tell the difference between our own bills and the fakes. But it's not just the money. The citizens are also worried. I've staked the honor of the House of Lang on this. And I've come to this land to capture the mastermind behind this whole mess. I investigated how the bills were made and how the ink was smuggled into Zhang Fa. And I pursued the smuggling ring all the way here. But tonight, this is where the final chapter was written. Despite my frantic efforts to chase the smuggler down, someone got to him first. Lang and Sheena look like they belong in Honkai Star Rail. They do! Okay, I don't know how Honkai works. But this man absolutely needs to have, like, some kind of, like... I'd want to give him ranger skills. Like, I'd want to give him ranger skills. Like, I'd hand him, like... If Honkai has pistols, I would hand him a pistol or a rifle, and then give him a bunch of things to up his aim, and, like, treasure sense and stuff like that. And, like, enemy sense and things like that, sort of... I don't know if HSR has those abilities, but absolutely I would give him those things. Like, he'd be a hunter of some kind. Absolutely, like, 100%. But, like, an urban kind of hunter. Still, though, give him a rifle. Sheena, on the other hand, ice powers. Ooh! Lang would be hunt fire. Sheena would be, erudite, erudition. Yeah, erudition. Erudition fire. Yeah, fair. I'd want to give her ice powers because she's always so, like, cool. Yeah, that's because erudite is the word for being smart. It's a fancy word for being smart. Erudition is a fancy word for being real smart. Fun fact, I knew that previous to it, but I'm glad that a bunch of other people learned it. Because, okay, so we all know that I like YA dystopia novels, right? Like YA apocalypse stories and other such things. So there are a bunch of stories that I like that are like that. One of them is,
One of them is that we joke is called, should be called Quizilla Decides Your Future. So, okay, so it's a city. It's called Divergent. Or at least the first book is called Divergent. And therefore the series ended up called that. So there's a little city, and there's 5 factions, and a secret 6th faction, because there's always a secret 6th faction. When you're in a YA dystopia, there are always N+1 factions, where +1 is the secret faction that was supposedly wiped out, or you wouldn't think of as a faction, or what have you. So there's Abnegation. They run the place. Because they're so selfless, that they do all the government stuff. There's Abnegation. There's Amity. As you might expect, they're all very nice, friendly, kind people. They run the farms and do all, like, the tasks that would require, like, a lot of people working together. There's Candor. Lawyers. Almost lawyers all the way down. They're big on telling the truth, as you might guess, from the name of this thing. There's Erudite. They are the science-mans. The smart peoples. And, then there is... Oh, come on, you'll get there. Come on, brain. It's the one that she joins. Why can't I remember literally the one that she joins? Brave. They're brave ones. They're... Dauntless. They're dauntless. I got there. Dauntless does, like, the stuff, the physical part of the legal side of the legal stuff. Like, they're police, they're military, they're protection, they're those guys. They're also, like, search and rescue and, like, fire department and all that stuff. That's their whole shtick. Val, I would place you squarely in Abnegation. I would place you squarely in Abnegation, and when the choosing ceremony happens, I would expect that you would probably end up in Candor. Because that seems like that's the way it would go. Abnegation being all selfless and self-sacrificing, I would expect that you would have a moment where you're like, wait, hold up. I think maybe I need to say the truth too much to be here. I think maybe me telling the truth about everything forever is a bit too much for these people. Maybe I need a different place to be. And then you'd end up in Candor. Is that good? It depends. Like, the factions all have their good and bad sides, as you would expect. With Candor, for instance, sometimes you legitimately need to lie or withhold the truth. That's sometimes you gotta do that. Somebody from Candor isn't gonna do that. They are literally unable to do that. Fun fact about this. Also, there's a secret 6th faction and a secret 6th thing you can be that are separate from each other. Secret 6th faction is the Factionless, which awkwardly are a faction of their own. It's complicated. Because this book really likes to comment on things and point at them Purge style and be like, hey, doesn't this thing kind of remind you of that thing? Because of that, the folks who are primarily factionless tend to be older people from Dauntless. Because Dauntless is very physically demanding, and the minute you can't keep up with it, you can't stay in the faction. That's just kind of how it is. The folks in Abnegation take care of the faction list primarily. If they can. When they can. Which is all the time because that's how they are. Anyway, the series goes wildly off the rails about partway through book 2. And book 3 is just completely bonkers. As it turns out, this is Chicago, and you may not know about the genetics war from Star Trek, but there was some gene wars going on, and they tried to, like, wipe out evil in people, and it didn't quite work. It just gave them people who are really prone to certain things. Yeah. So what they've been doing is trying to repair the human genome by being like, well, maybe if we put the, like, all 5 of the different things that we got out of this together, eventually we'll get somebody who's divergent. Who, like, has a fixed genome. And you'll never believe what happens next to our main character. Surprise. Alright, enjoy the lurk. Despite my frantic efforts to chase the smuggler down, someone got to him first. And now I'm called to return home without a single answer. Agent Lang, Don't start. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault, Mr. Prosecutor. Ambassador Alba, I'm sorry for all the trouble tonight. Oh, no. It is I who should apologize. It was all because I was not strong enough. If only I was able to think of a better solution. Quercus, you fool! Curse your empty brain! Heh, you're being too hard on yourself, Ambassador. I take full responsibility for tonight. End of story. Sheena, let's go. Time to return to our den. Yes. I don't like to admit, but there's not much else for us to do but to go home as well. Agent Lang, a moment if you... You, Wolfman, and the secretary lady, hold it! Objection, pal! Detective Gumshoe? Have you got the results of the handwriting analysis already? Yep, and that note was definitely written by Mr. Cochin, sir. Just as I thought. Good work, Detective. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. How long do you intend to hold us up for? Sorry to have made you wait, but I believe that now everyone is finally here. Agent Sheena, I'd like to ask you something if you don't mind. Yes? How exactly did you fail to see the Yatagarasu? When you were in the neighboring room where Mr. Cochin was killed, I'd like you to explain that to us. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, what are you doing asking her about something she didn't see? Agent Lang hasn't touched the Babel investigation at all, so I suppose I will need to explain a few things to him first. Miles Edgeworth, I can't even begin to imagine what's going on in that head of yours. Dang, Val picks the time to lurk when Francisca's here. Oh no. The only thing going on in my head is the pursuit of the truth. Oh? Sounds like you have some sort of plan. Very well. I'll supervise you until the end. Is she seriously going to treat me as a subordinate for the rest of the day? You're not trying to pick a fight with my subordinate on some flimsy guess, are you? I'm not trying to pick a fight, and the evidence is hardly flimsy, as you'll see. Ha! I should have known that you and I are destined to fight it out to the very end. It would appear that way. Well, I'll prove her innocence, so let's see what you've got, Prosecutor Edgeworth. With pleasure. Oh, he's ready. For my opening argument, I'll discuss the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babal, and establish exactly who it was that Kay saw. Agent Lang, I assume you've been briefed on Kay's testimony? You mean the suspicious person in a coat that she saw? That's right. That person is one of the keys to solving this case. The person who pretended to be the Yatagarasu. Pretended? And what do you mean by that? I'll get to that in a second, but first, I want to review what Kay's mystery person did. Kay, if you could please explain for us what the person you were chasing did. Okay, you got it. I first spotted the suspicious person near the open-air stage on the Babylese side. I called out to the person, but as soon as I did, that person ran off. I thought it was rather suspicious, so I immediately gave chase.
For the sake of argument, let's call this suspicious person the Atagrasu. Now please tell us what happened when you chased the Atagrasu up to the 3rd floor.
Can do! I chased the Atagrasu all the way up to the 3rd floor of the Babylese embassy. It was a pretty straight chase down the hallway until a sudden turn. The Atagrasu disappeared around the corner, so I did my best to catch up. When I turned the corner, I saw the Atagrasu run into Mr. Cochin's office. I gave chase and ran into the room. But when I entered the room, it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. I felt something on the ground next to my foot, so I turned on the light, but then... Ah!
Who's there?
By the time I had turned on the lights, the Atagrasu had disappeared.
When Kay entered the room, the person she was chasing was already gone. Why do you suppose that was, Agent Lang?
What do you mean, why do you suppose? Isn't it obvious? The person slipped out through the door behind the girl under the cover of darkness.
Sorry, but I know for a fact that person didn't escape through the door.
Oh, and how do you know that with such certainty?
Huh. That's easy. If the Atagrasu had left through that door, they would have run right into this person. Sheena?
Sheena or Gumshoe?
Was it Gumshoe? Or was it Sheena? Sheena got there first, right? No. Yeah, Sheena got there first.
Take that!
Your answer is Sheena? Yes, because let's consider what would have happened if the Atagrasu had used the door. When Kay screamed upon discovering Mr. Cochin's body, the Atagrasu would have run right into Agent Sheena, who was the next room over. Agent Sheena, would you mind telling us if you saw the suspicious person in question? No, I didn't see anyone. You see? Therefore, the Atagrasu could not have escaped through the door.
It just means that the creep slipped out before Sheena made it into the hallway.
Huh. I doubt that, as there was another person in the hallway, a certain detective. Detective Gumshoe, where were you exactly at the time?
Me, sir? Well, when I heard Kay scream... Yeah, I ran towards Mr. Cochin's office from the opposite direction of Agent Sheena, sir.
So, Agent Lang, can you explain how someone could have eluded both of them? Even you must concede that under these circumstances, the door was not a viable route.
Grah! Way to go, Mr. Edgeworth! You nailed him with just an explanation of what happened.
Yes. I've eliminated one of the possible escape routes from that room. But this is far from over. I need to make Agent Lang aware of this as well. Of yet another possible escape route the Atagrasu could have taken.
I get it. So that's what you were trying to show me. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, let me guess. This is what you're trying to say, right? Because the door was not a viable escape route, then there must have been another way out.
Precisely.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth! It's time to bust out with the revolving fireplace wall explanation, right?
No, not quite yet.
Huh? But why? I thought this would be the perfect time.
The revolving wall on the Babylese side is known only to 4 people. And if we use this information unwisely, the truth may escape us in the end.
What's with all the whispering over there? Scared I'll figure out your tactics?
Huh. Nothing of the sort, Agent Lang. Come, let's continue where we left off.
That smug, haughty attitude of yours. You really rubbed me the wrong way, you know that? Huh. Well, no matter. I figured you out already anyway. The only other possible escape route besides the door is the room's lone window. And since an eerie picture of said escape route exists... Are you saying that this photo captures the moment the Atagrasu's escape?
I guess Detective Bad must have filled him in on this photo. I have to admit that at first I thought the window to be a possible escape route as well. However, I now know that to be impossible.
Now I realize you may not know this, but... humans can't fly.
Of course I know that! That's bloody common sense! Besides, I never said I thought the photo to be the Atagarasu's escape route.
I suppose not. Alright then, explain yourself.
I made neon fan art on the Discord. Hello, Sleepy Tea Stars. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, it's been so long. But I'm excited. Whee! Neon art. Yes! Oh! Oh, it's so good! Chat, you can't see it, but it's so good! There's arts! Arts! Woo! I love it! It looks like I'm gonna munch. It looks like I'm gonna munch. Someone must know that I've been playing Carry On and loving it. Absolutely lost my mind. Welcome in, Tyler. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid. Hello, everybody. Oh, it's going to be an exciting time. I'm going to munch and crunch everything. Oh, yes. I'm so excited. Oh, yes, I have to put it. You go in the fan art folder. You go in the fan art folder where you belong. So exciting. Oh, yes, rainbows everywhere. Neon rainbows. Yes. Let's go. Anyway, welcome in. How was stream? Was it fun? Did you play a lot of fun games? Was it a good time? The usual spiel. I'm Fiera Luna, and I play games on the internet. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by, and if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm a 4 centimeter tall octopus. I play games on the internet. And streaming, my enrichment. That's what aquarium staff lets me do, so that I might, not lose my mind. Because I live in an aquarium, and I don't know if you know this, but aquariums are a little smaller than the ocean, which is like regular water, but way too big. You should all see that video at some point. I periodically get really excited about it because it's my favorite. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it's going, but it's my favorite video on YouTube. It's been there for like 7 years. It has like 1,200 views, and it deserves so many more. How goes the investigation? We're on the part where we tell Lang we thought Sheena did it. But we gently lead him there because he is a wolf. So we've got to politely get him there. Just very gently get him there. Ah. Hopefully. He doesn't know nothing about nothing in Babel, though. We found some ink. We found some bills, some sweet dollar bills. Zhang Fa dollar bills. So yuan. You mean wolf metaphorically, right? This man's name is Wolf Dragon. That's his name. That's what they use to call this man. I know you'll never guess that a man who looks like this could have those two things as his name. He also howls sometimes when he is upset. Which I appreciate. Chat has decided that he belongs in Honkai Star Rail. And I'm inclined to agree, given the designs I've seen for HSR's characters, that he does in fact belong in Honkai Star Rail. Love that for him. And he has spent this whole time being like, "You're terrible." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "You're terrible. I hate all prosecutors." And I'm like, "But I'm one of the good ones, right?" And he's like, "No. There are no good prosecutors." Actually, it'd be weirder if his name wasn't Wolf Dragon. I know, right? I can't even... It's been so long since I've seen his first name, but I remember being like, is this man's name Wolf Dragon? Because I better be Wolf Dragon. I know his last name is Dragon. Anyway, he's just informed us that people can't fly. Which is important.
We might not have known otherwise. Edgeworth very politely is like, yeah, I know. We're like, yeah? The shadow in this photo is not the Atagrasu that Kay was chasing after. You can say whatever you'd like in whatever language you want, but there's only one language I really understand. The language of evidence.
Very well, then.
I present to you proof that the person Kay saw is not the same as the one in this photo. Is it Kay's testimony? It's not the fireplace. Is it that 2 fires broke out? It kind of must be. Right? Because there's 2 fires in Babel. Knowing, well, knowing is half the battle, I guess. It's true. Do I want the photo itself? Or do I want the fact that there's 2 fires? I feel like it's the photo itself.
Let me explain to you precisely why the shadow in this photo is not the Atagrasu Kay saw. Kay spotted the Atagrasu heading for the 3rd floor during the 2nd fire. However, the photo in question was taken just after the 1st fire.
Oh, no! I can't make the noise he makes. I promise that is intended to be a howl. Yeah, way to go! That's twice you've bit him in the butt now.
Awkward. We're not done yet. You still have to explain what that shadow is and how the Atagarasu escaped. I don't suppose you can answer both, can you? I can.
Regarding the photo, I admit that we don't understand what it means quite yet.
Ha! As I thought.
However, the Atagrasu's escape route? Now that I can answer.
You can? Well then, Mr. Prosecutor, go on. Enlighten me.
Even if I explain, you'll try to find some flaw with what I have to say. You were busy heading up the Alabastian investigation, correct? In that case, I doubt you'd have much knowledge of the Babylese side of the case. So wouldn't it be best if the lead on that side, Agent Sheena, explained in my stead?
Sheena's my subordinate. If I don't stick up for her, how can I look her in the eyes and call myself her boss?
Aw, that's polite. Sometimes you gotta have a boss like that, who's willing to stick up for you and be like, nope, don't do that. Val, are you in an elevator that you surely won't regret? I don't know about that. I feel like that elevator is highly regretful.
Lang, it's alright. I can take care of him.
Sheena?
You've shielded me a lot as my boss. But it's time for me to prove my worth.
That smile is uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't think she should be allowed that expression. Please stop, ma'am.
Alright, if you're okay with it, then you have my support.
Finally. It's down to just Agent Sheena and myself. This is where the battle really begins. Now then, what is it you'd like to ask?
Let's see. Why don't we start with your movements inside the Babylese embassy?
I know, right? We're busy thinking she's the... Okay. I personally am busy thinking that she's the villain. Potentially, she is secretly Callisto U. She didn't look a thing like Callisto U, but that never stopped me before. That has never stopped a Phoenix Wright from being the thing that I said. See also that one case where we were like, but you aren't the younger sister. You're the older sister. You are that nurse. And she's like,
Lol, yeah, I am. My sister died about it. What do you want? I got plastic surgery from her driver's license because I was dying.
During the first Babalise fire, I assisted in putting out the fire. During the second fire, I was searching for the Atagrasu that had appeared in Babel. While I was searching, I heard a scream coming from the next room over. Although I was in the next room, I was unable to catch a glimpse of the Yatagarasu. To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical that girl's Yatagarasu even exists.
Ma'am, please stop having that creepy smile.
And that's all I have to say.
But I'm not lying when I say I saw the suspicious person run into Mr. Cochin's office. Like I said earlier, I have no intention of retracting my testimony.
Good.
Like that is not a spot. That is a sneer if ever I saw one.
And just to confirm, did you have a partner when you were on your investigation? No, I moved alone.
In that case, you have no one to corroborate your alibi. Is that correct? Are you calling her suspicious because she was in a room by herself? How pathetic. And it wasn't when Agent Sheena tried to arrest Kay under the same rationale? And how about when you accused Larry because he was the weapon's owner? Not such as unexpected for such useless lump to get into such a situation. Although, I suppose it is never a good idea to let mistakes go uncorrected. Alright, we hydrate as chat demands.
Body break.
Ignore the nightmare thing in the corner. Oh, we do that all the time. Wouldn't be the aquarium if you didn't do that.
Hey, ceaseless mods, turn your gaze upon this wretched bot. Nice. Though, side note, I'm grumpy because that's such a good weird name. They're getting better at having good weird names. All right. In a big stretch. Big stretch. Okay. Let's do some twists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did it. Her smile is like, I may not have committed this crime, but I definitely did something wrong. It's true. I think her smile is more, I definitely committed this crime, and I'll do it again. She has that, I committed the crime, but you're not gonna catch me. You think you're gonna catch me when I've been next to this guy this whole time? Let's be real. Chad is very convinced that Sheena is definitely Callisto Yu. Trust. And TBH, that is not beyond the realm of possibility. It's a Phoenix Wright game. That is how this works. I will make no excuse for what I did in that situation. Well, then you should apologize right now for making Kay out to be the killer, pal. I'm sorry. Sheena, apologize.
I'm sorry.
It's really okay. I mean, I'm not under suspicion anymore. Right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Well, I never doubted you. Not for 1 second.
And the same goes for me. I believe in Sheena.
Then let's put that to the test and see if she really is worthy of your trust. This promises to be interesting.
She hasn't once messed up her lipstick.
Okay.
Hold it.
So you helped with the fire extinguishing effort?
I was in charge of the police on the Babel East side, so I helped them with their work.
Police doing the job of firemen? You really know how to work people. She sure does. That's because she's one awesome woman who knows how to manage. I can't. I cannot. Chad, She knows how to manage, does she? Does she know how to manage you, sir? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Something, something, wolf ears. I cannot. What, a totally fine elevator? That sounds totally fine. Paranoid furry thing in the corner? Humans are like that. Always paranoid. Always. Did you sneak out again? Because it really seems like you sneaked out again. And then I go, no. And they go, then who was pushing your little tank down the hall? And I go, what? What do you mean? It's right here. And they go, yeah. And I go, yeah. And then they go, did you get out into the snow again? And I go, no. Can I go out in the snow? And they go, no. And I go, but I want to. And then we go in a circle for a while. That's primarily me going, but I want to. And them going, but you can't. It's snow. We don't know how. Look. You're an octopus. And I go, yeah. And they go, you can't go in the snow. And I go, but I want to. And they go, no. And we get stuck in that circle for a while. Because maybe they'll let me go out in the snow if I keep them busy long enough. You can't tell staff that sometimes I do sneak out. I do get out. I'm getting good at pushing the top up of the aquarium lid. Wait, you know what I mean. I'm getting good at scooting. Because chat's making me strong-thy. She sure does. That's because she's one awesome woman who knows how to manage. I guess so. She's always bringing you a business card or a scroll at just the right time.
To prepare everything before I'm ordered to. That is the definition of a secretary.
She kind of seems more capable than Agent Lang, doesn't she?
At the very least, she's certainly more capable than you, Detective.
Oh, don't say that, Edgeworth.
Ugh, I kind of had a feeling you were going to say that.
You did set him up for it, honey.
Sheena is more than just a capable secretary, you know. Sheena, tell him what other things you're good at.
All right.
Hold it!
By the second fire, you mean the one that consumed the third floor of Babal, correct? Yes. That was when the suspicious person was spotted in Babal.
Then you were after the same person in the long coat that I was after.
There's no proof that the suspicious person was really the Yatagrasu, because no one was able to get a good look at the person's face. By the way, how was your team's investigation? In order to extinguish the fire, water was pumped into the third floor via the windows, so the majority of the investigators conducted their searches on the other floors. Maybe they did, but there was one person who was wandering around lost on the third floor. When the fire was pretty much out, I moved to investigate the third floor.
And you did that alone?
Yes.
Yeah, you heard a scream. I really feel like there's something I'm supposed to press here.
Hold it!
So you were in the room next to Mr. Cochin's office. I already told you I was earlier, as I was examining the neighboring room. I heard that girl's shrill scream, and upon hearing her, I immediately ran towards Mr. Cochin's office.
Wherein you proceeded to arrest her, as I recall.
Yes, I did.
But she was totally innocent, pal. I thought we had already cleared that up. She put her glasses on just to take them off like that.
And I thought I had already apologized for my behavior. Now, if the tenacious detective would be so kind as to be quiet...
I have to agree. Right now is not the time to take issue with that. Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. But what I do take issue with is the fact that you didn't see the Yatagarasu, Agent Shina. The prosecutors of this country are all so strange.
That shouldn't be possible if the revolving fireplace exists. Right? Like... I mean, normally I'd press this and see if it lets me do it, but let's just try now. See if we don't need to.
Being in the room next to Mr. Cochin's office is the problem with your testimony.
Mr. Prosecutor, I don't see what problem you're talking about at all.
Agent Lang, do you recall the secret we discovered about the Alabastian office fireplace?
Huh? Oh, you mean how it connects to the office with the room next door? What about it?
Well,
Alabast isn't the only country with secret connecting fireplaces. What? The fireplace in Mr. Cochin's office holds the exact same secret. Well, what?
the Yatagarasu didn't escape through the door or the room or the window.
The escape route was through the revolving fireplace wall into the next room over.
Now do you see? If the Yatagarasu had escaped into the next room, then the thief would have run straight into Agent Shina.
Meaning that it's impossible for her to have missed the Yatagarasu.
What is the meaning of this, Miles?
Well, would you care to explain, Agent Shina? How you managed to completely miss the fleeing Yatagarasu, or shall I?
Oh no, her hair is covering her eyes! It's a new sprite!
Your claim that you were in the next room was a lie all along, wasn't it?
The truth is, you were the one Kay saw in the coat. Pretending to be the Yatagarasu, you were the one she chased after. As you tried to lose her, you ran into Mr. Cochin's office and headed for the fireplace. Then you shed your coat in the next room, leaving it there to emerge as Agent Shina. After that, you came back around to place Kay under arrest. Does that sound about right? If not, then speak now or forever hold your peace.
Well, how dare you make Kay look like the bad guy when you're the suspicious one, pal?
She is absolutely Callisto Ewan going to bust up gut laughing. Sheena? Even Edgeworth's like, wait, I know that laugh.
That laugh.
Literally the same sprite. Even Wolf switched sides. I know, right? That's not his actual. His first name is just. Give me a hot second. I'll look him up. I mean, that is his first name, but like, I think they left it in Chinese. Shilong. Yeah, Shilong Lang. One of those things is the wolf part, and one of those things is the dragon part, and I forget which one is which. I just remember being like, come on. Oh, his English name is the Mandarin Chinese reading of the kanji that make up his Japanese name. And his Japanese name is absolutely, hilarious. His Japanese, name is, Shiryu? Hang on. Ryu? Yeah. Shiryu Ro. And I love that. It's literally Dragon Wolf. We love that for him. Yes, Valley, very good. I remember this irritating laugh. Brr, I'm getting chills down my spine. It can't be. But it has to be. Sheena, what's wrong with you? I'm sorry. It was so funny that I couldn't help but laugh. Funny, you say? Yes, that you'd accuse me of being the Atagrasu. The prosecutors of this country really are all so very strange. Do you think you can get away with this by simply laughing it off? You think I'm taking things too lightly? I think not. It's that prosecutor who is. Look, everything you said earlier is nothing more than mere speculation. The Yatagarasu fled through the fireplace. Do you have any proof to back up your claim? If you don't, then you haven't proven a thing regarding the Yatagarasu's escape route. The tone of voice you're taking with me now has certainly changed. That's because it's been a while since I've had this much fun. I think I'll let loose, and then we can have a real battle of wits. For an agent of Interpol to show me the true power of her mind, it is a great honor. Don't underestimate me. I'm not some foolish broad, you know. I know. And that's why I won't hold anything back either as I answer your question. My question? Here's your proof that the revolving fireplace in the wall of Babel was used recently. Can we just present the fireplace? Like, pfft.
Take that!
I'm sorry, but this is really your honest answer to my question? Yes. According to Ambassador Plano's testimony, he said that he was burning some documents in the fireplace with Mr. Cochin. Oh. The ashes of what they burned were left in the fireplace, so they should have been there. However, when we went to investigate the room, the ashes weren't there. Yes, a wolf dragon, yes. Technically, the character for warrior is in there, too. So, a warrior dragon wolf. That's not how that put together is. At least in Japanese, that's not how that put together usually is. It's different, but it's funny. Up there with Turmoil Seahorse for hilarity. Well, why is that a problem? Maybe someone cleaned them up? Unfortunately for you, Ambassador Poleno said that he forgot to. And so the question remains, why were the ashes missing? The answer is simple. When the Yatagrasu went through the fireplace wall, the ashes were pushed into the next room by the wall as well. The movement of the ashes that were in Mr. Cochin's office is my proof. And just what is so funny? Ashes proof. Are you even allowed to submit such flaky evidence in court? You still wish to fight us? Of course, why wouldn't I? In that case, let's hear your counter-argument. My counter-argument, huh? Oh, this really is just like being in court. Well, to me, we're simply continuing from where we left off all those years ago. I have no idea what you're talking about. It doesn't matter if we're at a crime scene or in a court. Let's finish this here and now. But he is confirmed for the next Tekken game, right? He does look like a Tekken game. He absolutely looks like he should be in Tekken. Oh, he would have all, like... Oh, I know exactly how he would fight. He wouldn't quite have the Hwoarang style of fighting because Hwoarang is very, very Korean. But like, I feel like he'd have a very, very heavy fighting style. Like he would be the one that you don't like have a ton of combos with, but the moves he does have, are very heavy. Like, you have to know when to use them because they're those big, slow, heavy moves. And they hit you. And if you do it right, you'd be rewarded by, like, a quarter of your enemy's health being just gone. And probably a light stun. And if you do it wrong, you get punished. And even sometimes if you do it right, you do it wrong and get punished about it. Yeah, big, heavy swings. The Bowser of Tekken. We do love those big, meaty swings. I have a joke I could make here, but I'm not gonna. Fair. I also had a joke earlier, but I didn't make it I couldn't do it. Not on this stream. I tried.
I suppose. I've had a lot of fun today, but I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse.
Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Okay. Let's go. Jokes are like cakes. They're made to be shared. That's true. But my stream is PG. Potentially 13. No swears, though, because YouTube doesn't like it. But I'm sure we're all tired of my constant references. What? Why would we be tired of that? Terrible. Terrible.
In my eyes, all you've proved is that the rotating fireplace wall was used. But you can't really call that proof of the Adagrass who used the fireplace now, can you? So then, who was it that used the rotating wall? Show me your answer with real evidence. Remember, we've already finished our very thorough investigation, and we found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Cochin's office.
Really? Not a single suspicious thing? Really? I feel like, perhaps, the wire in the grandfather clock is a touch suspicious. It's almost as if you didn't even look.
And there you have it, my counter-argument. That's very impressive. She has seen through to the fact that I have yet to gather that one piece of evidence.
What is it, Kay? I haven't heard a peep out of you in quite a while now.
If you don't think that you can handle it, feel free to leave the rest to us. But I... Kay, pull yourself together. You are the true heir to the Adagrasu name, are you not? If you want to steal the truth, then you must never take your eyes off of it. This chase you're running to catch the truth, you must see it through to the very end.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're right. I will see this through to the end. So, you go get her for me, Mr. Edgeworth.
With pleasure.
Looks like the lack of evidence has left you wide open, doesn't it? Sheena, please, show me you're someone I can trust. Don't worry, this will be the deciding match. You'll see.
I'm truly sorry, Agent Lang, but I simply can't allow her to escape me again.
Always attorney prosecutors, and they're weird girls that become their assistants practically. Prosecutor and the multiple defenses. There's always a weird assistant girl. We love weird assistant girls. Gender neutral, of course. You don't have to be actual girl to be weird assistant girl. I'd be the weird assistant girl, BT dubs. Yes, absolutely. I would take you on as a sidekick. I mean, you are the mod here. I would take you as a sidekick. We would do sidekick things. Oh, alternatively, imagine, you've seen Zootopia, yeah? Is that Mr. Big? No. Is that Mr. Big? No. Is that Mr. No, shut up. And then you just come out carrying me. I'm 4 centimeters tall. I'll get him. Oh, we can give cool stuff a break from running around doing things.
Very well then, Agent Sheena. Shall we begin?
I'm ready whenever you are. It's true. Wolf, you can't trust her. It's right. That's right. She can't be trusted. I really just want to present on... I can. I want to present something here. I want to just present her and be like, you did. But really, more importantly, I want to present here. I want to put that wire. Please let this be right. Well, you say that you and your agents have finished your thorough investigation. Are you absolutely certain that you didn't overlook anything?
Wow, aren't we full of ourselves, standing there insulting Interpol agents?
You'd better not be insinuating that my men are incompetent, Mr. Prosecutor.
I'd never do that. However, it doesn't change the fact that they did overlook something. I'd like for you to take a look at this length of wire.
And what exactly is this supposed to mean?
A length of wire, so what about it?
I'll tell you what. We found this in the Babalese embassy not long ago.
What?
And we found it wound up inside the grandfather clock in Mr. Cochin's office.
You found that at the scene of Mr. Cochin's murder?
But this wire wasn't all we found. We found one other very important thing.
There's more?
In Mr. Cochin's office,
there were signs that someone had burned counterfeit bills there.
What is it? Yeah.
that evidence was something you found out through the little girl's machine, right?
So what if it was?
Ah, that's what I thought. But unfortunately for you, a recreation made by a machine is hardly concrete proof. Among the ashes you found in the room, did you happen to find any counterfeit bills? No. You see? So there was nothing in that office. Nothing you can call evidence anyway.
Ha-ha! That's where you're wrong! They burn green!
I'm sorry, but I seem to have given you the wrong impression. How so? I don't recall saying that I was presenting evidence of any sort.
But rather, I was pointing out that your investigation was incomplete, and that this throws doubt on the purity of your investigation into the Yatagarasu.
You still suspect me, I see.
All right, then. I'll ask you to point out what part of my investigation is incomplete.
The other Interpol agents worked under the command of Agent Sheena. And is it not possible that the reason the person K was chasing chose the third floor was because the person knew there would be no other agents on that floor? Or... Furthermore, we've come to see that Agent Sheena was only pretending to be investigating the Yatagarasu to the point of arresting K. In that case, there's one location that no one has yet to inspect.
Oh!
Your team's investigation was incomplete because they failed to inspect this location. The room she was in.
Take that!
The location, Agent Sheena, is of course the room you claim to have examined. I believe the room next to Mr. Cochin's office warrants a thorough inspection.
Even if you do that, I doubt you'll find anything of use to you there.
I will be the one to decide that. Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir. I'm on it. I'll be right back after I check out the room next to the office. This girl, I know. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you really think that Miss Sheena is the Yatagarasu?
Yes, if my logic is sound, I believe she is.
Then I'm not going to let her get away with ruining the name of the Yatagarasu. But can you prove she's the Yatagarasu is the question.
If Detective Gumshoe can find what I'm hoping he will find, then I should be able to.
And just what do you think he'll find?
Let's just say this. I had Detective Gumshoe do a little experiment for me earlier.
An experiment? As if that detective has the brains for high science.
It wasn't that mentally taxing. I had him use the same escape route as the Yatagarasu.
And what did you find out by doing that?
First, that it's possible for a person to fit through the revolving wall door. Second, that by going through there, the coat was covered in ash and Babalese ink.
Who cares what his coat was covered in? It's not worth that much anyway.
But is it really worth so little? I believe that it's actually quite a meaningful result, the value of which I'm about to prove.
Mr. Edgeworth, I found some things you really need to see, sir.
Oh? So what are these things that you found?
Some makeup, a coat, and a pair of shoes, sir. You found a coat? You hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? Maybe it's the person I was chasing after. Blah. Maybe it's the one Kay saw. Ladies, gentlemen, and others, we got him. We done did.
Agent Sheena, Were these pieces of evidence not in that room when you examined it?
Unfortunately for you, those aren't suspicious items of any sort. They all belong to me. They were getting in the way, so I stored them in that room. Aww. Thank you for bringing them to me. It saves me a trip. May I have them back now?
These items the detective brought back are incredibly significant. I request that we be allowed to examine them.
They're my personal belongings, so you have no right to touch them without my permission.
I wish to examine them for the sake of this investigation. But if you wish to deny us access to them, Agent Lang, let's hear your opinion on this.
I say let them look at your stuff, Sheena. Lang? Sheena, let's put it all out in the open. If you're really innocent, then you have nothing to worry about, right?
I guess so.
Alright, go ahead and examine whatever you'd like. After all, I have nothing to hide. Good. Now let us begin. So, which of Agent Sheena's belongings are you gonna examine, sir?
No!
What's this? I believe I'll examine her makeup. What's this? It looks like a very thin paintbrush.
It's a lip brush. It's for putting on my lipstick. Ack! I found something with a lot of weird powder inside, sir. That's just foundation powder in there. Nothing to get worked up over. Wow, you two sure know a lot about makeup. I think I need to confiscate them for a bit. Oh, I never knew makeup consisted of this stuff, too. Oh, I see. Ooh.
She seems to be completely absorbed in her study of cosmetics.
I guess there really wasn't anything suspicious as Agent Sheena's makeup.
I suppose not. Let us move on and examine something else.
It's probably the coat. I just accidentally was tapping A.
Let's examine the coat.
Yes, sir.
It appears you managed to stain your coat rather badly. Agent Sheena, the Yatagarasu that Kay saw was wearing a coat, and I'm beginning to wonder if this stain wasn't created when you went through the fireplace.
Nah, you have it wrong. That's what probably got on my coat when I was helping the police out with the fire.
And what about the dark substance around the hem of your coat?
Oh! I didn't realize that the hem was that dirty. I'm sure it's just some water mixed with soot from when I was helping with the fire. I don't think so. You think you can get away with such a transparent lie? Yeah, don't lie to us, pal. This is the same pattern of dirt that got on my coat when I went through the fireplace.
Your words ring hollow in the absence of evidence, you know.
So unless you can prove that the dirt on my coat is from the fireplace, which I can. How? You did a great job, Detective Gumshoe. Huh? Me, sir? What'd I do? This coat. This is exactly the piece of evidence I was searching for. I had been hoping to find the coat that the person Kay saw was wearing. And thanks to you, we've proved that going through the fireplace would sully a coat. I don't quite get what you're saying, but I'm happy for the praise, sir. Oh, no. I'm being attacked by blorbos from my brain. I don't quite get it, but I'm glad. But you're saying nice things about me to me, so that's fine. No idea what you're saying, but it sounds like praise to me. I need to write something later.
All that remains is for us to show that what the dark substance on the coat hem is.
You better write something later. I will, Chad. Don't worry.
Oh, and you think you can do that?
Of course I can. Gumshoe, who let you be a detective? Detective Bad. We know this.
Take that.
Babbly's ink?
Yes. This is what will prove that the coat went through that fireplace. According to Ambassador Plano, he burned some files in the fireplace this morning.
You told us about that already, so I don't really see the point in mentioning it again.
My point is that he spilled some ink onto the back wall of the fireplace at that time. If the dark substance on this coat turns out to be Babbly's ink,
it would prove that you and this coat went through the revolving fireplace door.
Sorry to have clipped one of your wings, Yatagarasu,
but we're not finished yet. But you have no way of proving whether or not this is Babbly's ink on the coat hem.
Of course. Oh, but I do. And I intend to show you that this is ink in a few seconds.
How?
How, you ask? Well, since you don't seem to know, allow me to show you. This is how I will prove that the dark substance on the coat is Babalese ink.
Burn the coat!
We can find out whether that is Babalese ink or not by lighting it on fire.
You're off the force. Hand in your badge and lighter.
Oh no!
That's how you're going to prove that it's Babalese ink?
Yes. If you could please cut a section of the dark stained area for me, I'd appreciate it. Because I will show you here and now what that dark substance is. Sheena.
Sorry to do this, but I'm going to have to cut off a bit of your coat.
Go ahead. I wasn't planning to wear it anymore anyway.
Now then, if someone could loan me a lighter or something.
Oh, I've got some matches. I always carry them with me so I can light smoke bombs.
Then, if I could please have one, Kay, we can get this experiment underway.
It's a flame!
It's the same color as the flames wit crystal oil produces. Which means...
Babalese ink is a product of wit crystal oil. And when lit, the ink produces a green flame. Humph. I believe the time has come to clip the Yatagarasu's other wing.
You'll never catch me alive! That was so smooth! Miss Sheena, you're the fake Yatagarasu, the one who killed my father!
It's about time you came clean, Agent Sheena. Or should I say, Callisto you.
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. You're not serious, are you?
Do I look like the joking type to you?
Callisto you? I've never heard of that name before in my life. That manner of speaking, and that attitude, you haven't changed a bit in 7 years. You're the defense attorney that killed Mr. Faraday, and then tried to frame me for it.
Oh, really? And you have proof?
You insist that I am this Callisto you woman, but you can't prove it. We can! If you have no proof, then I'm afraid you won't be able to lay a single finger on me. We can! We can! We have that perfume bottle that we just so happened to get hold of. Kay gave it to us to hold.
The raven is a very unique bird, one that flies by the darkness of night. However, the light of dawn has arrived, and it will reveal your true, ugly form to the world.
Enough poetry! I want to see some evidence. Do you really have something that can prove she is Callisto you?
I do. It's something that the second Yatagarasu has preserved for us these last 7 years.
Do me the honor, Mr. Edgeworth.
I will, Kay. For we've finally come to the end. We'll prove her to be Callisto you with this and clip the Yatagarasu's wings for good.
Is it that perfume?
It better be that perfume or I'm gonna be, like, real confused.
This perfume. This will prove you to be Callisto you.
It will?
Kay has preserved it perfectly for us. Surely you remember this bottle. This belonged to Ms. Yu just before she disappeared 7 years ago. Naturally, this means that a few of her fingerprints are on here as well.
This is that bottle of perfume you spilled, which I have preserved ever since. I heard from my father, Byrne Faraday, that if stored under the right conditions, a fingerprint can be preserved for decades.
That's true.
Which means that your fingerprints are still on here. Every last one.
We can clear everything up if we were to compare the prints on this to your own.
Now come, Agent Sheena. Will you submit yourself to the fingerprint test?
I bet she burned off her fingerprints. Oh, she's having a great time. I love that. I love how they did the art for that. She's losing her mind. It looks like you've seen right through me yet again. You're sending the biggest chill down my spine, Edgeworth.
Callisto, you?
So, you've shown your true face at last.
This feeling of thrill is even greater than that time. 7 years ago. Sheena, you're...
Lang, I really enjoyed our days together. You're an insanely strong, nice, kind-hearted idiot of a man.
So you were a spy all along? A mole sent by the smuggling ring I've been chasing after? Someone who's been feeding them intel on Interpol all this time?
Very good. Maybe you're not as big of an idiot as I thought. Callisto you, the woman who killed my father 7 years ago. You're her, aren't you? The fake Yatagarasu. That's right.
Callisto Yu. That's just one of my many names. But even that's just a facade. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the great thief, Yatagarasu! Callisto Yu, this time you won't escape, for this is the end of the road for you. Now come along quietly. You know, you're the one who's left the strongest impression on me, Kay Faraday. And had you not used the Yatagarasu's gadgets, I might have never known who you were. But here you are, being a thorn in my side, just like your father always was. Kay, don't!
I'll never forgive you for what you did to my father.
You really are just like him. Mr. Faraday, too, possessed such laughable honesty.
Kay! You let Kay go right now, pal! You despicable! Let go of me, you filthy...
You think I'm a fake, don't you? Well, unfortunately for you, I'm the real Yatagarasu.
But that's impossible! My father was the one who created Little Thief.
Hey, Edgeworth. The Yatagarasu has 3 legs. Do you know why that is?
Why it has 3 legs?
There are 3 main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. It's okay, Wolf Dragon. You can still be in Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
He can!
No, it can't be. Did you finally figure it out? Did you finally know the real identity of the Yatagarasu?
It's everybody! Everyone is the Yatagarasu!
The real identity of the Yatagarasu is...
Everybody!
The real identity of the Yatagarasu is neither Byrne Faraday nor Callisto Yu. But by the same token, they are also both the real Yatagarasu.
It's me! I'm the Yatagarasu! It's me! Exactly!
How very perceptive of you.
No way!
The single person known as the Great Thief Yatagarasu never existed.
Mr. Edgeworth? I'm the Yatagarasu! I'm the Yatagarasu! I'm Spartacus! Wait, wrong assignment. No, I refuse to believe this.
The Yatagarasu is known to have 3 special skills. Skill number 1. The Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. And a lawyer would have the opportunity to learn the layout of the client corporations. Skill number 2. The Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. And a good prosecutor would be well versed in the ways of a criminal.
And skill number 3. The Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind. Ever.
Detective Bad!
It was only natural for the Yatagarasu to never leave evidence behind, because the lead detective on the case hid it all away.
You're the 3rd member of the Yatagarasu?
Shocking no one! Shocking 0 people!
I am the Senate.
Yeah! Palpatine. We love a good Palpatine around here. Who's shocked? Nobody. We're genre savvy here.
You. I've been looking for you for a long time. 7 long years, and I finally got you.
Why, Mr. Bad? Long time no see. What happened to us? We used to be such a great team. If you were such a great team, then why did you kill my father 7 years ago?
Why indeed? It was nothing personal, really. He was just another person I had to kill.
How can you say that?
I grow weary of this, and it's about time for everything to come to an end. And this time, I won't miss. Stop! You!
Kay!
It's over, Sheena.
Your leg!
Agent Lang! You idiot!
What were you thinking jumping in front of my gun like that? What are you risking your life for? I'm sorry, Detective Bad, but no matter what sort of past she may have had, or even if she is a spy, it doesn't change the fact that she is my subordinate. And as long as she is, I can't allow any harm to come to her, not even from you. You really are an idiot, you know that? Ha! That's fine with me. You should know by now that this is just how I am. Hey, sis. Yes? I want you to conduct a full body search. Sheena might have another weapon on her. Alright. Detective Gumshoe, your assistance, please? Sir! Hey, I found something! What is this, sir? It looks like the blade of a knife, but it doesn't have a handle. I bet that's a... Got the sneaking suspicion that's a Babalese knife.
This is a great find, Detective.
Huh? It is, sir?
Let's try pairing up this blade with this handle.
Take that!
I believe this blade actually belongs with the handle that was on the murder weapon.
Hey, they fit together perfectly!
This blade must have been taken from the crime scene when the knife handles were switched.
Well, I'm gonna return this Babalese knife now.
Alright. I trust that you'll make sure that it's returned to Ambassador Plano. I believe this makes it perfectly clear who did it, Callisto Yu. For the only time the handles could have been switched is just after Mr. Cochin's murder. Which means that you must be Mr. Cochin's killer. You killed Mr. Cochin with the Alabastian knife. Switched the handles, and then took the original blade of the Babalese knife with you. Later, you allowed yourself to be spotted by Kay near the open-air stage. You used the fireplace to lose her, and then you went back to accuse her of the murder. Does that about sum it up? You crafted an engaging tale, Edgeworth, but there are two problems with it. Problems? In what respect? What do you think my real reason was in allowing her to chase after me? It was all so I could capture Kay Faraday. What? When I saw you using that device at Gatewaterland, I knew right away that you were Byrne Faraday's daughter. I became curious, so I researched a little into your background. That's how I found out that you were on the trail of the Yatagarasu. So that's why you tried to pin Mr. Cochin's murder on me? Yes. I knew you would show up at this embassy tonight, so I thought to use you. But pinning the murder on you wasn't my only goal. You had another? Yes. Once I had you under arrest, I had planned to search you and take back the device that rightfully belongs to me, the true Yatagarasu. You were going to take Little Thief away from me? 7 years ago, it was thanks to that device that Faraday was able to infiltrate this place. But he stole more than he should have. I had a tough time recovering that precious key. Then the person who stole the Yatagarasu's key was Mr. Faraday? You. That incident 7 years ago. What was the catalyst behind it? In the eyes of the smuggling ring, the Yatagarasu was becoming a bit of a problem. So it wasn't an especially pleasant assignment. Then why? Why did you become a member of the Yatagarasu? Why? There is no why. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. From the beginning? What is that supposed to mean? Well, the person I take orders from hasn't changed. Even now, to this day. Does this mean that the leader of the smuggling ring wasn't Mr. Cochin? Then the real ringleader is still out there pulling the strings? Are you done asking what you need to know? Because if so, we should probably get going. And you're going to tell me everything you did tonight. Do you understand, Sheena? I guess I should tell you, then, that I was the one who set the Babalese embassy on fire. And why did you do that? I suppose it was to destroy all the evidence of counterfeit bills. That was what the smuggling ring was trying to do? But then why start two fires? Sorry, but I can't tell you anything about the ring. It's your job to complete your investigation, after all. I've had my fun. Now it's your turn to enjoy the ride. Oh my god. We're not done. Guys, I was like, oh boy, we're done. We're not done. Wait, Miss Sheena. Yes? When I fell to the floor earlier, these fell at my feet. What about them? They're such pretty hair sticks that I thought, well, that I should return them to you. You can have them. They're of no use to me anymore. If you don't want them, you can always just throw them away. No, I want to keep them. Suit yourself. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot, Edgeworth. About the second problem I had with your story. I didn't kill anyone tonight.
What?
I'm not saying that as a sore loser. Think of it as a hint, if you will.
Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, Agent Ling?
Mark my words, I'm not done here and I'll be back. And it's got nothing to do with duty or anything, because this has become my personal case. I may have been shot, but I'll show you just how dangerous a wounded wolf can be.
His anger appears to have negated the sensation of pain in his injured leg.
He is kind of limping away, though. Lol. I hate this so much. Take me home.
It's finally over, Kay.
I feel like I've peered into her heart a little, you know? And it's so cold and dark and incredibly lonely. The person who was giving her all those commands. The one who thought my father was a problem to be removed.
That person is the real ringleader behind the smuggling ring.
Mr. Edgeworth, I have a favor to ask. Can you hold on to these hair sticks for me? They're really pretty, just like the ones they were selling for the Jam and Ninja show. But until this case is over, I don't think I can look at them without being overcome.
I understand. I'll take good care of them for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit of soil stuck to the ends of these sticks.
I was about to say, we haven't solved the smuggling ring case yet. We haven't. I guess it's that time already, huh?
So it's midnight. It's the dawn of another day.
Hey, Pops, thanks a bunch. You really done a lot for everyone all these years.
Detective Bad, don't tell me today is the day.
Yeah, it is. With this, I can retire in peace. But it was down to the wire, and we almost didn't make it. But we did it. We solved everything.
But that's just it. We haven't solved everything yet. The ringleader of the smuggling ring, you, the Yatagarasu we were chasing after.
The legend of that Yatagarasu is now over. Mr. Edgeworth, that bit of logic earlier, it was brilliant. I feel like I can leave it all in your hands. I'm counting on you.
Is it really true, Uncle Bad? Were you also part of the Yatagarasu?
As I said to you earlier, Kay, I'm truly sorry. I wanted nothing but a peaceful life for you.
Uncle Bad.
Hey, don't take it so seriously. It's all just one big joke, right?
Unfortunately, it isn't.
Oh, come on, sir. She's just yanking on my chain, isn't she, Mr. Edgeworth?
Detective Bad. Wait, no, you're no longer a detective. Mr. Bad, I'd like to ask you about the Yatagarasu.
Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth,
here. Should give these back to you.
These are
the pages from my KG8 case files that the Yatagarasu stole from my office. Huh? Wait, what? Mr. Edgeworth, I must apologize for last night. That was Detective Bad!
So the Yatagarasu who stole into my room was you, was it?
Wait! Then that means... What? Tell me it's not true. That's too insane for me to believe, sir. It's true. Even if it's not something you want to hear. The KG8 incident, it was a very emotionally trying case. We stood in that courtroom, Faraday as the prosecutor, and I as the lead detective. Faraday had evidence in his possession that would prove the defendant guilty. However, because it was stolen, the defendant was found innocent. You was the elder sister of the victim in the case. When the defendant was pronounced not guilty, she let out a great wail. That's when we realized that there was a limit to what the law could do. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. Now that I'm retired from being a cop, I'll leave everything to you, lawyer.
What even is the difference between a detective and a lawyer in this world? Oh, boy.
The answer is not a lot. Cops don't have to interrogate. Cops don't have to court. The lawyers are more competent, yes. That's how we formed the Yatagarasu and vowed to bring to light any dirty dealings companies had with the ring, including companies that dealt with the Amano group.
Mr. Amano's conglomerate?
We called ourselves the Yatagarasu and flexed our collective muscle. We exposed all sorts of shady dealings as a warning to the business world as a whole. By doing that, we were able to stop the higher-ups from covering things up. And then, it was finally time. We had finally arrived at the moment when we'd find out the ringleader's true identity. It was then that you literally stabbed us in the heart, and Faraday, he died for it.
But why? Wasn't she the sister of the victim in the KG-8 incident?
After Faraday's death, I looked into her past. And that's when I found out that she was a phony. The victim of the KG-8 incident, CCU, she never had a sister.
What? Then that means...
Sheena wasn't the only fake name she used. Callisto U was also another pseudonym. From the very beginning, that woman was a spy sent by the smuggling ring.
She said it herself. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning.
Anyway, let's return to the real topic at hand. Mr. Edgeworth, this trump card that we stuck onto the page of the case file. Please use it wisely.
Trump card?
That photo we stuck on there. Try peeling it off. Behind it slumbers a piece of evidence that Faraday hid away all those years ago.
It's the mark of the Yatagarasu. But why?
This is a directives card from the big boss. Take a look at the back. There was something Cochin had on him at the time of the KG-8 incident 10 years ago. That blood is from the victim of the incident, Miss CCU.
But why is the card adorned with the mark of the Yatagarasu?
The reason why we called ourselves the Yatagarasu was because of the three-legged raven mark that the smuggling ring's boss used. Apparently, orders from the boss would come on these cards without fail. The person who received the order was supposed to burn it immediately after reading it. And apparently, it burns a bright green flame when set ablaze.
So you mean the cards are written in Babyliss ink?
The fact that the card that Cochin was sent made it into Faraday's hands at all is nothing short of a miracle. We decided that whenever we stole anything, we would send a card along with it to the police.
So that's what those white cards are.
The great thief used this mark that only those within the ring would know. It was our message to the ringleader that we were only a few steps behind. And one more thing, Detective Gumshoe. I'm entrusting this to you.
Well, what's this, sir?
This is what I was talking about earlier. During the KG-8 incident trial, Faraday had this in his possession. This important, definitive piece of evidence.
But I thought it was stolen. How do you have it?
The person who stole it from us 10 years ago was a man by the name of Ernest Amano. And he had it locked and hidden away for all this time. But we forced him to tell us where it was finally, after the other day's kidnapping case.
Would I be a detective or a lawyer? Val, I think you would be a lawyer, and I think you would be a defense lawyer specifically in Phoenix, right? More accurately, I don't think you'd necessarily be a defense lawyer, but we have determined sidekick. You'd be in like weirdly Victorian clothing for no reason. Probably you would have a parasol. And like, you would be weirdly polite until all of a sudden you were not. And people would be like, wow, so cute. And you'd have like a little picnic basket, but it would have like everything in it. Like you'd open it up and you'd pull out the craziest things from it and it'd be whatever we ended up needing. I'd be there like, you did the bad thing. And you'd be like, I did? And like, they'd be like, I did? And I'd be like, yeah, and I have evidence. And then you'd be like, yeah, Fier does. And then you'd pull something out of your bag and be like, see? And it'd be the evidence. Fier gets to be the defense. I'd be a terrible defense attorney, but I'd be better than most of the prosecutors in this series. Whee!
This video.
Ah! Don't come any closer. I'm warning you.
This is the same video that one Mr. Portsman was trying to conceal from me.
Yeah, it would seem that even he was caught up in the ring's web. Amano was preparing to take on the boss someday, and the video was his insurance. That's where that prosecutor comes in. He was to retrieve the video. On top of that, he was apparently instructed to sneak into your office and steal the trump card. You saw it for yourself, right? The card that told him to preserve the evidence?
Then, that card was not the calling card of the Adagrasu, but rather a directives card from the ringleader to the Mr. Portsman?
The two pieces together make for a strong weapon for whoever holds them.
The evidence Mr. Portsman thought to withhold from me, and the one that you stole from my office last night. Both pieces are illegal, and for me to use either one is...
Whether you use them or not is up to you. But they will be of help to you when you take on someone who is above the law.
Is the boss of those who cannot be brought to court that Mr. Faraday spoke of?
Detective Bad.
There's no limit to the law, for it is the people who determine the limits to them.
You still insist on that even now? You really are something else.
I'll leave the rest in your hands.
Now then, Detective Gumshoe, the handcuffs. It's time to lock up the last remaining member of the Yatagarasu.
Pops?
Don't ever lose your detective spirit.
Pops, why is this happening? This isn't justice.
Like I always told you, do not get emotionally involved. Now then, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Is this really the end of the legend?
I can't believe there's still more to this case, and that we're going to probably have to investigate and arrest what's-his-face. Ambassador Polano. Can't believe we're probably going to have to investigate Mr. Ambassador Polano. Wow, it is midnight o'clock. We have been out all night. Rocking on all night. Saturday night's alright for fighting. Saturday night's alright. Etc.
So now we know who the Adagrasu really was, and yet, there remains much to this case that needs to be resolved.
Like how the weapons crossed country lines, for example. The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it is impossible for someone to have smuggled them in.
Smuggling them in, huh? We will need to open a new line of investigation on this, just this aspect alone. But before we do, I'd like to go through my evidence once more.
Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Hey, there's a VCR here, sir. Now we can see what's on that tape Detective Bad gave us.
This piece of evidence from the KG-8 incident, hidden from sight for 10 long years. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow.
That felt so much like a wrap-up. I'm surprised it's not over yet. I know, right? There's more. We still have plenty more to solve. Sure thing, sir. I'm still certain that Ambassador Polano's up to no good.
This man, it's Manny Cochin.
Holding a knife? And he's holding a knife in his hand.
Hey, ceaseless mods, turn your gaze upon this wretched bot. Nice. They are getting so good at sneaking around the things I've set. Terrible. This looks like footage. This looks like footage from a security camera at the entrance to an apartment building.
An apartment building? How do you figure that?
Unlike you, I actually read the summary file on the KG8 incident, and the crime scene was the victim's own apartment.
So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building.
At the trial, Mr. Faraday claims that this piece of footage existed.
However, no one could find it.
Yes, somehow, someone was able to steal it and hide it through Mr. Ernest Amano.
I can see how this would have been a definitive piece, and why someone would want to hide it.
But it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to the case we're working on now, sir.
Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader.
Where? Where?
Wait, what was that?
Huh? That bit you played just now. Please show it to me again. That's a Cadopian flag.
This car. This is something we can't overlook.
Why is that, sir?
Look here, Detective Gumshoe. That's a Cadopian flag.
Take that!
This is the national flag of the Principality of Cadofia. And because it has the national flag on it, we know this is an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing there?
Ms. Von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth. So you were here all this time.
Ambassador Alba.
Thank you very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. If only it was even a tiny bit more... I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. Oh, I'm truly sorry.
I love how this man's walking around with a shillelagh. Like, that 100% looks to me like a shillelagh. Like, this man, if this man doesn't grow blackthorn trees, I don't know what he does. Maybe, perhaps, I am seeing things where but darn, if I am not seeing them anyways.
This wasn't your fault, sir. It had nothing to do with how careful you were.
You idiot, Crercus! You couldn't chase after a simple thief.
Now then, let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that?
Excuse me?
Well, I heard you've apprehended the thief that turned this embassy upside down. And we are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope that you can understand how I feel.
But we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues.
Why don't we leave the rest to Alabastian and Babyliss police?
Ambassador! We are so close! Just a little more and...
Oh, Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, I can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right? That's true, however. As he said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be Alabastian soil, in which case we are nothing but foreigners in their land. Is this really where our investigation ends?
Shifu, we found Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Shifu, this way. How are you back, sir? Didn't you be at the hospital? Go back to the hospital. Your leg's not right, man. All right, we hydrate his chat demands. We got a lot of talking to get through. Yep. Look at him, still kind of limping. No, that was processing difficulties. I thought he was kind of limping, but nope, processing difficulties. Though I'd like to headcanon it, not as processing difficulties, but as him actually kind of limping and then just being like, no, I can't. I must stand strong in front of this foreign prosecutor. I can't let him see weakness.
Agent Lang, you're back on the scene rather quickly.
If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, prosecutor.
Oh, Agent Lang, why have you returned?
Because I have to solve this case no matter what.
Well, I'm sorry to inform you. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief and saw. Under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They are quite capable. At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close.
Ha! Ambassador Alba, I get it now. I really do.
Oh, I'm very glad you understand how I feel.
No, not that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder.
You... no?
The...
Killer?
Do you really mean that, Agent Lang?
Wolves don't lie.
Then who is it?
Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Sheena. Langji says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. Why do his sunglasses look like two eye patches? He's got those Matrix glasses with the super thin little bit in there. Also, it looks cooler. The truth is unexpectedly simple, so let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damask II's killer? Huh, I'll tell you who. We know exactly who it was. It was you, Franziska von Karma. Pardon. Pardon?
I was the killer? Hey, wait, but that's impossible.
Yeah. Although, that whip is actually quite...
Yow! Hold your tongue, and that ludicrous remark you were about to make.
Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder?
Yeah, I am.
He doesn't appear to be joking.
Hey, sis. I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech, he called you into his office, right?
Yes, he did. But what does that have to do with anything?
I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabast and Babel, did you not?
And where's your evidence that I am the killer?
Huh. I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission?
Well, with things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I?
Good, then let's move out. Oh, and don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a good close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that.
As if I would have any reason to flee. But, just so this is very clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I will accept nothing short of a perfect explanation.
She seems rather upset. Not that I blame her. I expected you'd accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep up that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that. Agent Lang, as soon as someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part. And so that I may clean up my superior's mess. Edgeworth's onto him! You guys are onto him too. I see you, chat. Do you think we can hang out for a bit? Yeah. Unless he's lying for time. He's lying for access. He knows who did this. We know he knows who did this. He has figured it out. Edgeworth also knows he knows. He's like, dang, Ambassador Alba really did smuck that guy over the head, didn't he? Because he did. That his walking stick is a shillelagh.
For those of you that don't know what a shillelagh is, once upon a time, England occupied Ireland. And they were like, wow, you guys can't have weapons. Okay? Okay. And Ireland was like, that sounds terrible. And then England was like, well, too bad. No guns, no swords. I didn't think guns existed actually at the time. But anyway, no nothing. And they were like, oh, is that all? And England was like, yeah. And they were like, you can't take this from me then. And they're like, what's that? And they were like, a humble walking stick. Definitely a humble walking stick and nothing else. We will not tell you about what a blackthorn tree is and how hard the wood is and how difficult it is to construct this thing and that you can put lead in the head of it and make it really heavy. Nothing about that. No, it's just a fine knob for a walking stick. You wouldn't part an old man from his staff, would you? And the English were like, no, I guess not. You can keep your garbage canes. Look at them. They didn't even make good ones. They're all knobby and weird. It's a mace made of wood, effectively. Well, it's more than that. Shillelaghs are cool. There's more to it than that. If you guys are ever interested in what a shillelagh actually is, there's mythological and folklore sources, like straight from folks and stuff like that you can check out, which I think are neat. Or you can just go do what I do and go somewhere where they make them, or talk to people who still have them from the old world.
Humph. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery.
Oh, in that case, I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabast yet. If you like carrying, then you gotta let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma's in trouble. Hey, Gummy, let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay?
Okay, I'll take you up on that.
Oh yeah, I'm fired up and raring to go.
As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over.
Sounds like this is going to get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride.
Oh, very well. But I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance.
Humph. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now let's go.
Yes! We're gone to Alabast.
We know who killed Damask the Second. We know how things were smuggled.
Necklace or no? Yes. Oh my gosh, please. Why are you guys so chatty tonight?
Okay, now let's go over the facts one more time. Manny Cochin's body was found over on the Secretariat's office in Babal. The weapon that took his life was one of Alabast's ornamental knives. And then the body of Damask, too, Mr. Kashinu, was found here in the Alabastian ambassador's office. Through our investigation, we found that the murder weapon was the Primadux statue, and that this is actually Babal's statue. This case, no matter how you look at it. Sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else who could have pulled this off.
Agent Lang, do you understand the full implications of what you're saying?
Of course I do, sis, and I'm serious. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring, and you wanted any evidence you could find.
Welcome in, Lady Calamari. Hi. Hi. Yes. Guys, did you know there's other octopi out there? Did you know? Nish Teru, etc. I don't have a little Mamashiba. You know what I should get? I should make a little Mamashiba soundbite. I love Mamashiba. Mamashiba! I love those little bean dogs. They're full of fun facts. Oh, I should make... I've got an idea. Oh, then the octopus got a wonderful, awful idea. Welcome in. We're trying very hard to get to a spot where we can save. But gosh darn, these people are making it very difficult. And they have to voice all of them because this isn't voiced. Well, not fully voiced. Anyway, I'm glad you can stop by. We're having a great time tonight. Technically, I should have ended like 10 minutes ago, but here we are! Oh, right. Right, back to Lang's voice.
And so, while people were distracted by the Atagarasu's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that other thief who took advantage of the confusion from the fire.
Even if all that were true, how do you explain the movement of the weapons?
Don't worry. I plan to show you that you're the culprit behind that too. You had permission to investigate both embassies at will. With that kind of free reign, you could have easily taken the weapons across country lines.
Whoa! Let's go! Way to go, Lang!
Hey now. Look, sis, I thought I already told you. I'm not messing around here. This case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring, but Sheena certainly is tied to the smuggling ring. He is right in saying that she is a member of the smuggling ring. However, the connection between this case and the ring... Could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine?
Let's get this ridiculous circus over with already!
Francisca, you need to calm down. Because you only know the facts of the Alabastian side of the case. I don't believe you can see the case as a whole, and therefore solve it.
What?
But don't worry. I am taking this seriously as well, and I will prove your innocence. That's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. But can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the moving weapons as well. Of course, and I will. Let us now delve into the truth behind the murder of the Damask II.
You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just some confrontation against Agent Lang. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damask II is related to the smuggling ring, then it will mean the end of our investigation.
As long as I have no good counter-argument to his hypothesis, then the best I can do is walk this thin tightrope and see what I can do. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor, let's get started. Yes, let's.
Let me save the game, please. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I'm trying so hard. Okay. We did it. 14 minutes later, I know, there was a lot of talking. It really felt like a wrap-up, and yet it wasn't. Oh, no. And yet it wasn't. All right. So we've got that saved, thankfully. What? And it is now closing time, and we hope you enjoyed your visit to the octopus enclosure. For those of you with me on YouTube, that truly is the end of the night. And for those of you with me over on Twitch, we are going on a little adventure. Adventure time. Come on, grab your friends. Oh man, got back in time for the end. Lol. Welcome back, Kewen. Technically, I should have ended 15 minutes ago. But here we are.
Can you imagine if it crashed? I would die. I would implode.
I've absolutely closed things. And been like, no! Awoo! When did I last save, I'll say to myself. Oh no. Ooh, what's Dreamy playing tonight? Well, let's look. Dreamy, what are we doing? Oh, it's December. Oh, right. Oh, let's go see. Dreamy's playing Toonstruck, which is you'll see. It's an old point and click that I really think is fun. Oh yeah, I finally have kind of a raid message. Right. You guys thought of this one. There you go. All right. That is it for tonight, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow for whatever I play on Monday. Final Fantasy VI. I remembered. That is it for tonight. Someday I will pin that. Thanks for playing along, everybody.